Get ready, East Tennessee. The sights, the sounds, the spirit. Friday Frenzy live from 6 Sports starts now.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Bo Williams.
And I'm Casey Kay. Welcome to Friday Frenzy Night Live. Let's get right out to our game of the week. Bo, that is going to be going out to Powell at William Blount.
Yeah, and a battle of the unbeatens in this one. And as we heard, if you were with us at 6 o'clock today, this is the first time these two teams have ever met. So let's go to Blount County, William Blount. Again, taking on Powell. It is 8-6 right now. William Blount went for 2. And they took a 1-point lead. And so William Blount in their orange and blue, and that is Powell in the white jersey. So we're taking you there live. Again, this is one of the big games of the week, Casey.
One of the big games of the week, and William Blount has been classified as 6A for the last 10 years. This is their first time playing back in 5A. Now, before 6A became a thing back in 2015, William Blount was in 5A classification, but this year, now they have to face against those 5A powers. One of those being Powell. You see Deuce Rogers right there at quarterback. Last week was his first official game of the season, Bo, because he got injured in week 1. Looks like he's going to throw that out wide. Get a few yards off of it.
Actually still going. Great pickup that time there for Powell. So again, they're going to the air in this game here out of the gate. Lemire Porter with the pickup there for Powell. Earlier, Deuce put it up in the air, hit Z. Jackson for the first score of the game. That gave Powell a 7-0 lead. And then back come William Blount, Jackson Dabrowski, our first week player of the week, right?
Yeah, you actually just saw him right there on the screen. There he is.
Yeah, so
Jackson Dabrowski.
He's all over the place, but he scored and also gave him the 2-point conversion. So that is why we are where we are at 8-7 right now. William Blount, and it looks like Powell getting ready to punt this away. We're still early in the first quarter in this game.
Yeah, it looks like Powell is going to send it back over to William Blount. Like you said, they went for 2, so they're up with a 2-point lead, 8-6 right now. They're going to try to do something else with it. Something that William Blount has done so far this season that's been, giving other teams trouble is really working the air, working the pass game. They have the quarterbacks to do it, so why not? They've had it for the last few years. Jackson Dabrowski last year, also starting quarterback now in year 2. Last year, almost 2,000 passing yards for him, and he's looking to do even more this year.
That's how he's been off to a great start, that is for sure. That was Jaden DeHart, by the way, on the receiving end of that punt for William Blount, so we'll see if they can add to their lead. One thing we've heard, we were talking with the Powell coach during our 6 o'clock newscast tonight. He said, this is a high-powered offense William Blount brings to the table, and you already mentioned it right now. It really rests on the quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's going to be interesting because Powell, I feel like, has really relied on their defense in recent years, even spoke to it this year. So you got Powell relying on their defense, you got William Blount, who's going to rely on their offense. So does it go low scoring? Does it go high scoring? We don't know. We don't know. It's going to be a good one.
All right, let's go out to Blount County. We'll stay in Blount County. Anderson County is at Heritage tonight, making the trip out to Heritage this evening. We said it last week. We said it the last few weeks. One of the prettiest venues as far as scenery in high school football, and that is out at Heritage right now. And there you see the score. It's 14-13 right now. Anderson County on top, and boy, it doesn't get any better than that. Last week we saw Heritage take on South Doyle, and that was a back-and-forth game. Heritage coming out on top in that one to stay unbeaten. They are now 2-0. And it looks like they've got the football right now down by 1. So let's see what happens here with Heritage, see if they can put a drive together and reclaim the lead. They're going to go airborne with this one, and they're going to come near side with it, but that one is going out of bounds. But Heritage, they move things a little quick. It seems like every time we would cut away from that game, we'd come back and they scored another touchdown. So Heritage likes to move things a little bit more up-tempo than some of their opponents this season. But so far, so good. I'm off to a 2-0 start for Heritage. Fantastic for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, great for the Mountaineers. And I have it written down that I think this is going to be one of the premier matchups that we see in 4A this year in terms of being evenly matched on both sides. AC, offense.
Yeah.
They're going without J.D. Gillum. We're going to see it in a little bit eventually once AC gets the ball back. But that's kind of the big storyline for AC is how do you figure out how to do this without J.D. Gillum at quarterback. Like Heritage fighting for a few more yards there, but gets pushed back.
But going the opposite direction. They didn't have a lot of
maybe not.
Yeah, Anderson County last week beat Fulton 46-0, and there were a lot of questions going in as far as the quarterback position for AC, and again, putting up 46 points against Fulton and that big shutout win. Hopefully calm some concerns there at Anderson County. I know they like to have their starting quarterback back, but at least that was a huge positive result for the Mavericks.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to head coach Davey Gillum earlier in the week about JD being out, and just for the team to rebound like that and get that 46-0 win. Gillum said that he was so proud that after losing a huge piece in their team in JD, the players didn't lose confidence in their team and potential. So hopefully we get to see a little bit of that battle back tonight as they take on Heritage.
Yeah, Madden McNeil, the quarterback, going for Caden Filippo. Boy, they almost thought they had a pick there for Anderson County as you saw their sidelines. Looks like Heritage is going to have to kick this one away. So again, Anderson County with that 1-point lead. They're going to get the ball back here. Heritage after that 2-0 start last week beat South Doyle 35-14. We brought you that one. Really, Heritage didn't get control of that game until late in that one. But again, that should be a good one that we're going to watch tonight. Now, Science Hill making the trek down I-81, heading to Knoxville to take on Bearden. Two teams on polar opposites right now.
Polar opposites. Bearden really needs to get a win or even just some points on the board. They have 13 through 3 games this season. So I think anything would be beneficial for them, and actually 2 games for Bearden this season since they didn't get to play that first one. We're on week 4, but they only have 2 games under their belt. So definitely would be beneficial even just to find the end zone. Bearden's been beat by 50 or more points in the last 2 weeks in their 2 games that they have played this season. So a little confidence booster would be helpful. Doesn't look like Science Hill is going to be letting up too much, leading right now over the Bulldogs 14-0. Yeah,
Science Hill comes in 3-0. That touchdown you saw there, that was their opening drive to make it a 7-0 game. But as you saw with the score there now, 14-0. But Bearden, I mean, I'm looking at some of the numbers there. Bearden so far, they have been outscored 119-13. They are just trying to find something right now. They lost a lot of big players after the coaching change. And again, they're just trying to kind of get things going. But on the flip side of that, if anybody can get it done, Brad Taylor, the Bearden coach, I mean, he went to Bearden. He's coached Bearden. He's taken to the playoffs.
Bearden in the blood.
He is. He's taken to the semis. It's going to take some time, a little bit of rebuilding, but give the Bulldogs some time. But right now, they're just trying to find some answers.
Try to find some answers, get some sort of confidence in them, allow them to get the legs underneath of them under a new head coach, so to speak. And hopefully by the end of the season, we see kind of a turnaround. I know we saw that with Farragut last year. When Jeff Courtney takes over for his dad in the first few games, come out, you lose a few, but then eventually you get into a rhythm, you get something to click. Could be something that we see with Bearden this year, too.
All right. Hey, let's go to the mountains for a second. Gatlinburg-Pittman at home to Fulton. Fulton looking to rebound after getting blown out last week by Anderson County. Gatlinburg-Pittman coming into this one. They lost, actually they beat Unicoi County in a tight one, 21-20 last week. Gatlinburg-Pittman back at home. And again, this is a live look in. Last time we checked, it was a 7-0 game with GP on top. But Gatlinburg-Pittman, always tough.
Always tough. And they are so excited about this season, Bo.
14-6. There you go. There's the score, 14-6. Yeah, they're excited about this season because they don't have to worry about Alcoa this year, right?
Yeah, Alcoa has ended their season the last 6 years. And here's Fulton, though, breaking loose on our replay action. So that's that touchdown that Fulton had on the board. So Fulton's also really trying to get something moving this year. I mean, they're 0-3 right now. I talked to head coach Justin Long earlier in the season, earlier this week, rather, and he said that their message to the team with 3 losses is just do what you've been coached to do. Speaks to discipline. Simple as that, but also as hard as that, Bo.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Easier said than done sometimes. Rayhan Womble, the scorer there, the quarterback, the senior, putting it into the end zone. But they didn't get the extra point. So, again, that is why it's 14-6 right now. Gatlinburg-Pittman in the first half. Again, this GP team, a lot of people are going to be watching them after that 3-0 start right now. Can they go to 4-0? I mean, a lot of people are expecting some big things from them this season.
Yeah, and last week was their closest of the season by far, just a 1-point win. Those other 2 were pretty much written in the sand, but head coach Tyler Williams was still not satisfied when talking to him earlier this week. Is any head coach ever satisfied, though?
No, never. Not unless you lift the championship trophy at the end of the season,
right? Until GP gets that state championship trophy. They're gonna keep pushing, but off to a great start to be able to potentially do that.
Yeah, but GP, obviously, we'll come back to this game, get you up to date on that one, how things are panning out. But Gatlinburg-Pittman on top there. We're going to go back to our game of the week, Powell at William Blount. Again, last time we checked in, William Blount was on top. Powell had punted away. Governors had the football. And let's see what happens here as we bring you back out to live action right now. Powell, boy, look at that line. I mean, they got some big kids over there.
They got some,
Goodness gracious. So let's see what Powell does here. Looks like we may be in the second quarter now, so they've changed sides.
Looks like a quarterback change.
Yeah, a little bit of a change there for Powell.
So we did see Deuce Rogers earlier.
So maybe trying to mix it up a little bit. Jatalis Henderson for Powell. There's your score still. It's 8-7. This was earlier. Let's see if we can bring up the replay for you on how Powell got on the boards. Deuce Rogers again. He went airborne and found Z Jackson in the end zone. And this really, I mean, it was 7-0 before anybody knew what was going on in this game. Again, Powell going up, but then back would come William Blount to take the 1-point lead with the 2-point conversion. So this is how the game started. That's why we're at 8-7 right now. And this is why it's the game of the week. This is going to be a tight game, as we mentioned.
Yeah.
Great defense, great offense. William Blount, you know, you're always kind of in the shadows, I guess, if you're, whether you're Heritage or William Blount behind Alcoa and Maryville. But both these teams off to great starts this year, getting a lot of recognition. It'll be interesting to see how far they can keep that moving along.
William Blount trying to rebuild a sort of powerhouse. They had those power years back in 07, 06, but since then, since 07, they've only had one winning season. They even had a no-win season back in 2021.
Yeah.
So they're really just trying to establish that program. A lot of 3-win, 4-win seasons over the last 2 decades. And, they want winning seasons, and they've had the teams to do it.
Right.
Just one stop short.
But if they can win tonight, they will equal their 2023 opener where they went 4-0.
Yes.
So let's see. They went 6-4
Remember that one
season.
under Brett Cortez.
It didn't finish well after that because they ended up going 6. They went 2-4 after that, but they opened the season 4-0. So let's see if they can pick up that 4th win and at least match what they did in 23 and keep things rolling. All right, we're continuing to check in on a number of games for you. We're going to go back out to Gatlinburg-Pittman. They're taking on Fulton. Fulton making that long drive from just north of our studios here in North Knoxville, looking to pick up their first win of the season. Right now, Gatlinburg-Pittman leading this one as we check back in 14-6. And again, always a tough place to win on the road. That is when you go to GP. But take a look here. Tyson Sutton, the junior quarterback, getting ready to take the snap here out of the shotgun. He's going to hang on to it and come near side. He's got nobody out in front of him, though.
Yeah,
So no
John
help.
Whittington with the stop there for Fulton. 2 against 2, number 2 against number 2 there.
He had his number.
Quite literally had his number,
literally had it.
yes.
So there you see it, 7 minutes left to go in the second quarter. This one moving along, 14-6. Second down, 12 to go. So let's see if Gatlinburg-Pittman this time decides to go to the air in this one. Last season, by the way, Fulton won at 34-14 when these two got together. So Gatlinburg-Pittman would not like to see a repeat of what happened a year ago in North Knoxville. Looks like we're going to have a call. Looking at the reaction from the Gatlinburg-Pittman players, looks like this one may be on Fulton. And it is. They're going to march it off. Give them 5.
Offsides against
Just keep them moving.
Second down.
Gatlinburg-Pittman's been just dominant the last few years.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Fulton took this one last season, but I mean, last season, 9 wins. Year before that,
Yeah.
11 wins. Year before that, 11 wins. Alcoa keeps stopping them, or had stopped them in the
And Fulton's kind of in a
quarterfinals.
rebuilding mode, too, with Molden's gone, Johnson, the running back, Smith, the wide out. Some key players from last season for
Yeah.
Fulton. Oh, look
That
at that
was
little,
fun.
like that, the little pitch.
Oh, and he's
Turning
still
into a
going.
big game.
Oh, he's
big
still
game
going.
for GP. This is exactly what they were looking for, and a
Elijah
touchdown.
Spence
Yeah, the senior.
into the end zone.
That's kind of like an end around in a way, I guess.
Yeah.
Instead of going behind the QB, though, he came forward, but a game in front of him. But the senior wide receiver there, a great pickup for Gatlinburg-Pittman.
That's
and
what we've heard.
Touchdown.
That's what we heard some coaches say about Gatlinburg-Pittman. They do some fun things.
Well, that was fun. I wasn't expecting that one.
Came right at you, kind of. We were like, whoa, loved it.
If you had 3D glasses, you would think you were right there in the action. They're going to try to make it a 21-6 game here. And nope, the whistles are blown. So Cecilio Rodriguez will have to wait a little bit longer to give it another try. This is going to go against Fulton. Well, we'll see if they're going to pop this back through to make it a 21-6 game. We'll check back in here in just a little bit, but chances are with Rodriguez kicking there, he's an excellent kicker, the senior. He should be able to split the uprights.
We'll give it to him.
Yeah, we're going to give it to him. All right, Powell is driving right now. They trail 8-7 to William Blount. So the Panthers are knocking on the door right now, and so let's see what they can convert here. Brody Hollowell on the keeper.
Barrel through the middle.
Yeah, nice pickup for Powell. And they were close. About, what is that, about 1, 2? We'll see where he marks it here.
Just a handful to get that punch in.
Inside the 5, I think would be safe.
I'm going to tell you something, Bo.
Tell me something.
I don't like shooting 1 yard, 2 yard touchdowns because 99% of the time they aren't the most exciting ones to shoot. Usually just a little punch into the end zone rather than,
or you're thinking,
a long ball.
Or you're thinking it's that punch into the end zone. All of a sudden you realize somebody's running around the far end, right? Yeah, exactly.
But we got Sam Rothman out this game. I'm sure she's going to shoot it fantastically.
Eagle eye, Sam Rothman. All right, so Hollowell handing it off, and there you go. I think he got in, or did his knee touch down first? Let's see, did they call it? No one's, are they jumping around? No?
I think they're excited. Little head tap, maybe?
Yeah, little head tap.
Yeah,
there you go, touchdown. They did give it to him. So touchdown for Powell. They retake the lead. That's Jahanwan Moore with the touchdown, the junior.
And they're going to go for the extra point.
Yeah, so let's see if they go for 1 or do they go for 2. Let's see what they decide to do here. Yeah, they're going to go for the 1.
For 1.
Going to go safe here. Don't blame them. Caleb Lanyas, senior kicker. We saw him punt just a little while ago. Let's take a look at his place kicking skills.
It's coming right to her. It's coming right to us.
I'm guessing that didn't go through the uprights.
I think that would be a solid guess.
And there's the confirmation. So a 6:32 to go in the second, 13-8. Powell back on top. Stay with us. We got a lot more action for you. You're watching Friday Frenzy Live. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. We're keeping you up to date with all the action right now around the area. One of the games we're watching for you, Carter and South Doyle. Carter up 14-0. They tried to get the ball back off the ensuing kickoff off of the onside kick, but South Doyle with a nice he took a lick, but hung on to the football, so we'll give them a gold star. But again, this one right now, 14-0 in the second. Carter coming into that one. Both teams really 2-1 on the year, Carter and South Doyle. And we're going to get you up to date on what's going on there live right now. And it looks like maybe South Doyle may have scored here. We'll have to get an update on the score because they were getting ready to kick off.
Carter and South Doyle matching up in week 4. South Doyle so far on the season 2-1. Their first loss coming last week of the season. They already have more wins.
Well, we got 2 guys there. Nice job. Here comes the ball carrier. Oh, we got some flags down.
So that was Joseph Armetta on the return for Carter there.
The senior.
We're going to see where that ball ends up because, like you said, Bo, a couple of flags. So.
Sounds like Carter holding on this one. So we saw them going at it right there in front of the ref. I have a feeling that's probably not the right spot where you want to hold.
Maybe not the most ideal spot. He tried.
So they'll march this one back. Carter will take over here deep in their own territory.
So Carter is coming off the most points they have scored in a game since 2022. They had 63 last week.
Yeah.
First one of the season, they put up 57. They did have a loss in week 2, close one. Loss by 3 against Grace in week 2. But other than that, their offense has been explosive in those other 2 games. And we just saw on the scoreboard, South Doyle and Carter getting a little closer.
Yep.
South Doyle got some points on the board, so it's 14-7 in favor of Carter here.
Also, we got a 30-second timeout right now on the field there, so we're going to bring it back here for just a second. We'll go back out there when the action resumes. Last year, those 2 teams went at it. Of course, Carter picking up the win against South Doyle. So we'll see if they can make it 2 in a row. This time, though, trying to play at South Doyle. Anderson County Heritage, we're going to go back out live to Blount County. Big run, from what we understand, just coming in. So we're going to take a look at that here in just a second as we take you back out to this game. Another one of those we'll be watching closely for you. Again, Anderson County on the road at Heritage. So coming off of a big run here, looks like Heritage may be knocking on the door.
Yeah, definitely set up inside the red zone. We're going to see where they put the ball. Yeah, just a couple of yards, and last time we checked in on that one. Inbound. What was that score again, Bo?
Last time we checked, it was 14-13. Anderson County, let's see, it's 21-13. Anderson County now up by 8, but Heritage knocking on the
Yeah,
door.
Heritage looking to try and
McNeil
tie it up here.
Bobbles it there, but gets it, trying to find something, goes into the end zone, but
overthrow.
yeah, he was looking for Tegan Ruling, the senior wide receiver on that one. Looks like maybe the snap may have been a little high. Saw the ball kind of spinning in the air. Great job by McNeil, the senior quarterback, to bring it back in and actually get a pass off, but way overthrown. So they'll set it back up again, but they're down by 8 right now, but knocking on the door.
The word that Joe Ossovet uses to describe his Heritage offense is explosive. Explosive is the word that, he brought up multiple times talking to him earlier in the week. And then on the other side of the ball, they're trying to eliminate explosive runs. But hey, they would love an explosive run for themselves right here, or any sort of explosive play to get themselves tied up.
Well, McNeil's going to take it up the middle, but he's brought down about the 5-yard line. Took a pretty good lick right there. Tried to go low with it, but picked up a few yards, but still about 5 yards shy from putting it into the end zone.
I believe if that was a long run, that would have set them up for first down. Now we've seen 2 plays, so this could potentially be third down. Heritage over 60% completion rate when they are on third down. Conversion rate.
Last week, McNeil had 2 touchdown passes in that win against South Doyle. See if they go air here from 5 yards out, or they keep it on the ground. Now they're going to hand it off, come near side with it. Does he get inside the pylon? I think he did. Pretty impressive.
Oh, that was pretty.
Quite the acrobatic flip there by Thomas Bowers.
Gymnastics moves
Yeah, the senior running back, Bowers, kind of in the air, upside down, but somehow got the football inside the pylon.
As we said, that looked like it was going to be coming from around the 5-yard line.
That was pretty good.
That was, I'm maybe the
impressed.
best play of the night so far that we've seen
And he
here.
hung on to the ball.
Executed beautifully. A little flip-a-doo-dah there. That was fun.
Flip-a-doo. We'll mark that one down in the book as the official play. We're going to call a timeout, it looks like here. Maybe talk about things for a second. But Heritage back on the, at least I'm assuming they said he got in. I'm assuming it looks like Heritage is going to try to go for 2 here.
Yeah, try to tie it up. At that point, it'd be 21 all.
All right, so McNeil quickly. Oh, look at the little razzle-dazzle for the 2. Oh, and it's picked off in the end zone, and the whistles are going to be blown there. So they tried a little tomfoolery there for you, but it didn't quite work. And now we got flags all over the place, and a couple of players going at it. We've got a Heritage player that is down right now, but the ball was intercepted in the end zone, so let's hope the player is okay. But the 2-point conversion did not work, and so Heritage still trails, but the game right now, 21-13. All right, let's go back. We'll get you up to date on what's happening at Heritage. But right now we're going to go back to William Blount. William Blount taking on Powell. It is our game of the week. This has been one of the tighter ball games here. Boy, some tight action for you right now. And looks like we get a touchdown for Powell.
Then that's Jackson.
Sure did.
Yeah. Just kidding. We're looking at Powell.
Yeah, so it's Deuce Rogers.
Deuce Rogers.
Yeah, putting it in the end zone. That makes it 19-8. So Powell, last time we saw them, they went for the extra point. Obviously didn't happen. Now they just punched it back into the end zone again to make it a 19-8 game.
And we haven't seen Deuce playing quarterback there. The last time that we checked in, they had in Brody Hollowell in at quarterback for a few plays there. Looks like Deuce Rogers is back, and as we mentioned, he had missed the last few games. Last week was his first official game of the season. Injured in that first game, had to stay limited in the second game of the season. So this is his second full game of the year. It looks like he's excited about it.
And look at there, yeah. He's having a good time right there. A little celebration with Tucker Massengill. So love it there on the sidelines. But 20-7 is the score, or 20-8 rather, the score there. Fulton and Gatlinburg right now. Fulton, it looks like they just may have punched it in. So Fulton getting on the scoreboard here, adding to their point total. It was 21-6 last time we checked. It is now 21-12. So the Falcons hanging in this one with just over a minute to go in the first half. And they're going to line up here for the extra point. But a big score there for Fulton. They needed an answer after going down 21-6.
Needed an answer for the game, needed an answer for the season. Just to get something rolling would be a huge positive for the Falcons. Justin Long saying this week that they need to establish a solid run game, stay ahead of the 6, and they got to punch early, which you're trying to say in with GP. but the 2-point going to fall short there.
Yeah, Womble, the pass to the far side to Mackay Holmes. Holmes was unable to bring it down, just a little high out of his reach. But again, a huge touchdown, huge score for Fulton as they are on the road. 21-12, a minute 10 right now in the first half to play there. Hey, we've got more action to tell you about. Keep it tuned. We're going to be right back with more Friday Frenzy Live.
21, Pigeon 0.
Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Let's go back out. Fulton at Gatlinburg-Pittman. Casey, we're getting close to the end of the half right now, so it'll be interesting to see if Gatlinburg-Pittman, after giving up 6 points just a few moments ago, tries to get a few more here right before the whistle.
It looks like they got 27 seconds left. First down, 21-12. GP is leading this one.
So they're again in Fulton territory right now. They've crossed midfield. 27 seconds, as Casey just mentioned, to play with here. They'll look to at least come away with 3, if not 7.
And 1st and 10, so they got the downs to do it. And Fulton hanging in this one a little bit more than we would have thought, Bo.
Yeah,
Fulton right now 0-3
hungry for that
on
first
the season.
win.
Hungry for that first win. And
so Sutton with the quick pass. It is complete. And a big pickup here for Gatlinburg-Pittman. Rodriguez on the receiving end there for Gatlinburg. And so a big pickup for them as they will move the chains.
looks like they're going to be,
Let's we get a timeout.
Looks like he came down around the 5.
So Gatlinburg-Pittman going to try to stick this one in the end zone with 20 seconds left. And that would be kind of a little bit of a gut punch to Fulton. You know, you've come back down, you've scored, you've closed the gap a little bit, and then for Gatlinburg-Pittman to come down with less than a minute and score right before the end of the half, that was going to smart a little bit going into the locker room.
Yeah, for GP to go into the half on a high, and Fulton, like you said, they're fighting back, and then that gut punch.
Yeah.
But GP hasn't started out as strong as their scores the last few weeks would kind of allude to. They have had a little bit of slower starts, so this may be a little bit on track for what we've seen the last few weeks. Head coach Tyler Williams talking about how they've overcome 3 slow starts.
Yeah.
2 of those were on the road, but they were able to battle back and stay undefeated. So this slower start, quote unquote, you know, slower by their standards of what they've been winning by, kind of on track to what we've seen from the Highlanders so far this season.
All right, Tyson Sutton once again. Same play we saw earlier. They're going to see if it works again. This is not a replay. I just saw the flag, though, so we may have a holding call. But it is a touchdown on the exact same play we saw them run a few moments ago with Elijah Spence, the senior. But, again, we saw that flag. So let's see if this one comes back. I have a feeling it is. Yep, this one's going to go against Gatlinburg-Pittman. Boy, that play seems to really work, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does
seem to really work.
So they're going to talk about it again and see if they'll come back with something different this time, or hey, if if it worked twice, maybe it'll work a third time as well. Tyson Sutton, though, boy, what a week last week in that game win against Unicoi County. 9 of 18, 126 yards, had a touchdown. Did have 1 INT, but some big numbers there for the junior quarterback from Gatlinburg.
Yeah, we just saw the clock on this one. 12 seconds left. 1st and 8 is what it said. I don't know if that was before or after the penalty, but that's what we were seeing on the scoreboard.
But that's the thing. You win, you scored, it's called back, plus you lose the time on the clock. So, I mean, you're thinking, oh, my goodness. All right, out of the shotgun, Sutton. This time he's going to go to the air with it. He's going to roll to his right, looking, firing now, and complete. It was still time on the clock. Braden Maples on the receiving end.
And that one just shy of the end zone. Okay, yeah, they were on the 18-yard line. Now they've got 6 to go. 5 seconds.
Yep, about 6-yard line, it looks like now, where they have spotted that one. So
try for one more, and then if not, maybe go for the field goal. What are you feeling, Bo?
5.6 seconds. It's high school football. You know what? You're at home. Let's go for it. You're up 21-12.
So no field goal. You don't think any field goal at all? Even if they don't get it in on
let's see how much time they use up here. They should have a little bit of time left, but second down right now from the 6.
Sutton lined up to take the snap here. Going to
this
the
time
air
it goes opposite
again.
direction. Oh, almost intercepted. That would have been a huge play for Fulton. Talk about a reversal there, going into the locker room feeling pretty good.
That was the Antonio Hutchinson senior. Should leave a few seconds on the clock for GP to come in here and take one more chance. Looks like they're setting up for a field goal.
Yep, yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're going to go for the 3. So Rodriguez in to kick now.
So that would make it 24-12, going to halftime with the 2-score game if he can send this one away. They were on the 6, so this would make it a 23-yarder.
And Rodriguez with the kick, right at the buzzer, and it's good. So that's how that one.
24-12 heading into halftime.
So they didn't get the touchdown, but they at least came away with 3 for Gatlinburg-Pittman, so they'll feel good going into the locker room now with a 12-point lead. Fulton, though, still has to feel good. Say, you know what, all right, we dug in, we held them to a field goal.
Yeah, and Fulton only 19 points on the season so far through 3 games played. Tonight they've already got 12, so something positive coming out of that first half that they can kind of lean on as they come out of the break.
Definitely. Build the positivity as you go along. So there's your halftime score. Gatlinburg-Pittman leading Fulton right now 24-12. We've got some highlights we want to show you from the South Doyle game. This is when we're watching South Doyle and Carter. Carter, the scramble is on right now, and watch what happens here, though. They go deep with it, and it is picked off. Nice job by Jaden Norris, the junior defensive back. And then he's off and running, breaking some tackles. Finally, he's brought down. But again, picking it off there. And then South Doyle looking to take advantage of it here off the turnover. And here you go, running right at you, Mill Crenshaw. And he is coming down the sidelines, and he's not going to be touched. He's only a sophomore, turning on those
Right on
jets.
the response. Make the most out of it, capitalize off of it, and then get yourself back in the ball game, Bo.
We're going to slow this one down even. Take a look at it as he cut it back outside there. One opportunity possibly for Carter, but nice job there by the sophomore running back to take it the length and put some points on the board for South Doyle. So some good news there for South Doyle fans. Powell, William Blount, our game of the week. This one, though, has been more Powell than William Blount.
It has been more Powell than William Blount right now, 22-8. Powell visiting Blount County in the lead. 44 seconds remaining in the first half. It looks like it's once again going to be Powell on the ball, Powell on the drive. Seeing if they can make something with it, just like we saw GP do right before the half. That's Juice Rogers back in the game under center. He's going to fire out towards the side and right into the ground. Incomplete.
Not probably what he was looking for, but
you don't take that many seconds off the clock, which is obviously as that half winds down, just as important as getting those extra few yards. You never know what play is going to.
Well, for William Blount, I mean, again, this is kind of like what we saw with Fulton just a moment ago. For them, if they can just keep Powell out of the end zone, just keep them from adding any type of points to the board, will be a small victory for them to take into the locker room and feel good about themselves. As they are down, as we mentioned, 20-8 at home. Both these teams unbeaten coming into this game. So, you know, this is a big one for both of these squads looking to go. Well, William Blount looking to go to 4-0. Powell to 3-0 on the season if they can pull the win off. And again, another incomplete pass.
And that's from Deuce Rogers. He's been up and down through his 3 years as a starting quarterback at Powell. Almost like he hasn't been able to get into a rhythm. Though his size has definitely been a strength for the Powell offense.
Well, last week in that win against Halls for the Powell quarterback, Rogers was 8 of 11, 74 yards, had 1 touchdown, but he also had 13 carries for 161 yards. So the guy can get it done on the ground.
Yeah, he hadn't played a full game, and he was ready to fully get in there, capitalize off of any minutes that he could get in that win over Halls. And that one, Halls and Powell kind of at each other's throats that first half, and then Powell kind of ran away with it in the second half.
The Battle of Emory, right?
Battle of Emory Road.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you want to call this one tonight? Powell, William Blount, you got a name?
I don't know. Yeah,
you've come up with a new rivalry. You know, you said they haven't played before, so we can start a new tradition.
Yeah, well,
right here, right now, Bo.
I would say, well, they're not even from the same county. We'll have to come up with something. Yeah, the long distance. I don't have no idea.
The long distance rodeo.
Okay, there you go. This is the long distance rodeo according to KCK. All right, Anderson County at Heritage. Again, another two teams that aren't anywhere near one another. Anderson County making the long trek out to the eastern part of Blount County, right there in the foothills. And let's see what's going on here. It looks like Heritage with the football. No, Anderson County. Anderson County with the football right now. We saw Heritage score just a few moments ago on a nice run. Anderson County now trying to answer. They'll take it here, and they'll go far side with it. Little option play, nice pitch out, and that one's, I was going to say not going to go anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. Okay, it looks like maybe he was getting ready to break a tackle, but did not happen. Jason Thompson got all wrapped up out there.
Yeah, and we've been seeing number 0 Dominion Levell kind of standing in as a makeshift quarterback for J.D. Gillum, who is out for a couple of weeks with a collarbone injury. Head coach Davey Gillum saying he probably will have about 3 weeks of the regular season when he returns for that injury before the postseason is kind of the timeline that they're looking at. But right now, they're just adjusting to a different offense without him.
And they'll go to the quick pass and the completion there, far side. Nice pickup. This was Jason Thompson once again, the senior on the receiving end there. So nice pickup for Anderson County. They lead it 21-13. We are late in the first half on this one here. Looking to maybe pick up a few extra points before they head into the locker room. As they're approaching midfield. Lavelle still out of the shotgun.
Both these teams.
Oh, no, that's right. This time they'll keep it on the ground. Marcus Brown taking the handoff, going off the left side there for another big gain for the first down.
Yeah, consistently kind of making their way down the field here. And both these teams, Bo, didn't get a week 1 game to finish. Both of them started their week 1 games. Anderson County getting in a little bit more than Heritage did due to rain for both of them. But neither got to finish that week 1 game. So both of them just 2 full games on this season so far this year.
Yeah, that's why Anderson County 1-1 coming in on this one. Heritage 2-0. Again, they'll work it out of the shotgun. They'll keep it on the ground. Thompson taking it far side, cuts the corner.
He keeps going.
And yeah, still going, breaking some tackles, and a nice pickup again. Anderson County moving the ball downfield. Zane Walker coming up with the big play there to push him out of bounds and possibly save a touchdown run there.
I'm trying to see how much time is on the clock here. In the corner of the screen, if I can make it out.
There we go. We're going to zoom in real quick for you.
It
looks like still plenty of time.
5:32, yeah, because they seem to be moving kind of quick. I didn't know if they were winding down on the time there, but you see that score there, 28-19. I believe what that said, if I can.
Well, we've missed a few scores since the last time we checked in, but still a close game. Here's the pitch coming near side for you, and this time Heritage says, yeah, I don't think so. Thompson tackled for a loss, it looks like, on that play. Yeah, 28-19 is your score, so Anderson County on top. So both teams have scored since the last time we checked in, but this is still a tight one. About a 9-point lead right now for Anderson County.
Yeah, definitely a tight one. AC going with a completely different offense than they were running with Gillum. So what these guys spent practicing all summer, all spring is not what they are doing now. They've adjusted during practice, and they're just going with a different flow with Gillum out.
A little higher scoring affair than I would think in the first half between these two. Maybe not so much from AC, even though they don't have their starting quarterback, but from Heritage, putting 19 looks like a little bit of maybe a bobble there, but Anderson County maintains possession of it. But Heritage digging in here a little bit as they are trying to keep the Mavericks out of the end zone as they are driving downfield.
That's going to be Trenton Francis that took them down, but like you said, AC still got a hold of the ball, so they didn't lose it. They didn't gain anything either.
Still about 5 minutes to go until we get the halftime whistle here at Heritage. You're watching Anderson County at Heritage. This is Friday Frenzy Live. Bo Williams along with KCK. So we'll bring you all the action from around the area. We've seen a lot of great action tonight, great plays.
A lot of close games. Unlike last week, I know we had a lot of blowouts.
Yeah, we really did. They go back to the air with it, pass out to the far side, and still going.
All Thompson
keeping the feet going, yeah. I mean, every time they've gone to him, he has had the nice pickups. Lavelle, that quick pass, quick release. And
he got the first down there. Moved the sticks down the field.
And this is where you see the life of a photographer. Quickly making their way down the sideline, trying to stay out of everyone's way, through traffic, not trying to trip on anything, trying to stay ahead of the play.
Now, this game was at Anderson County. We'd see everyone's favorite sideline character in Ella
the Chocolate Lab?
The Chocolate Lab, the the dog tea retriever. But she doesn't do away games. She did do postseason, but she does not do regular season away games.
See the head coach there. Osmond's done a great job at Heritage. When he came in there, they were really struggling. He has really turned this program around, got them believing again, and again, they're off to a 2-0 start right now.
A 2-0 start in the running still to definitely maybe pick up a third win of the season. It's like someone's cheering. You said around 5 minutes, a little less
Said
than
about 5
minutes
last time we
one.
checked.
Heritage
That all set there
focused.
lining up. All right, here we go.
Heritage focused on eliminating the explosive runs. They've definitely seen a
Yeah.
few of those from Thompson, so they're going to be looking to get him under control, especially here as
Lavelle, nice job hanging on to that one, kind of snagged it out of the air with his right hand and gets a few yards before running out of bounds. So AC continues to move the ball downfield.
we saw Lavelle there, but Thompson actually a guy that Ossavet pointed to as someone that they're going to need to stop. If you're talking about explosive runs, that's who they were referring to the most for AC and what AC has been able to do with their offense.
Well, they've always
especially
been
without Gillum.
explosive, it seems like, year in and year out. You know,
AC?
Anderson County, yeah.
Yes. And I mean, what's crazy is they've had a different quarterback each of the last 3 years. And I mean, now I guess you could chalk it up to 2 different guys this year, but they haven't been able to settle in the quarterback running their offense, yet they've been able to still be explosive year in, year out.
You got a touchdown. Lavelle with the pass. Nice job. Gabe St. John on the receiving end, the senior, putting 6 more on the board for Anderson County. And just like that, they have extended their lead.
Yeah, they're trying to get up. Nice little lead to lean on, so to speak, heading into the half before they get to the half. So after we see them get through the extra point, which it looks like they're setting up for now, Heritage will have plenty of time, get themselves back down the field, see if they can have a bit of a response.
And they're going to want to respond, especially being at home before the halftime whistle blows. There's the extra point for you, and it is good. So again, Anderson County extending that lead. And there you go, 35-19 is the score now. Anderson County on top as they're starting to open this one up. So with 3:11 to go in the second quarter, this is a huge drive now coming up for Heritage. They can't let this one get out of hand.
Yeah, you let this one get out of hand, you go into halftime, you're down 16 points, 3 scores, I guess 2 if you made both of the 2-point conversions, but you don't want to go into halftime down.
Right.
Down 16. You want to stay in it. So that's what Heritage is going to be looking to do
So
on
we'll
the
kind of
response
see,
here.
Yeah, exactly. And we will follow that for you and let you know how it plays out when we come back. We've got more Friday Frenzy Live in just a moment. All right, welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Bo Williams along with KCK. Still some games going on in the first half, but we do have some halftime updates we want to get you up to date on.
Yeah, we're going to start out at our game of the week where Sam Rothman is coming to us live from Powell visiting William Blount. Sam, Powell up 20-8 in this one. What have you really seen from their offense that's been working so far?
Yeah, the storyline coming into this one, I guess for every Powell game is always Powell's defense, but really the storyline has been the offense. You guys saw on the plays, you saw Deuce Rogers in there. You also saw Brody Hollowell back there at quarterback. They've just been pulling out all the stops. It seems like if William Blount is figuring something out kind of ahead of a play, then they switch. They take Deuce out, they put Brody in. And I just have been really impressed with their offense. They've been doing it on the ground. They've been doing it on the air. It's very loud here. I'm not sure if you hear me, but yeah, their offense has looked really good, and then defensively, you know what Powell brings, and they've been all over quarterback Jackson Dabrowski for William Blount. He is a mobile quarterback, so he has been able to scramble, make some plays, but that can only get you so far, and they haven't found the end zone since early in the first quarter.
Yeah, so the key, obviously, William Blount needs to come out on that one, Sam, and try to reel Powell back in here in the second half, and we'll be keeping up with that game for you here on Friday Frenzy Live. But 20-8, that's the score at the half, as we're keeping you up to date on all the latest. Now, another game that we've been watching for you is Fulton and Gatlinburg-Pittman. And again, that is a game, Casey, that, right when Gatlinburg-Pittman started to pull away, Fulton got that key score, but then Gatlinburg-Pittman had an exclamation point there right before halftime.
Yeah, they made sure that they were telling Fulton who's in charge of that game before they head into the half. So we've got Sam Granville out at that game, our new WATE sports director, making his debut.
That's right.
On our show, debut here at WATE. So we're going to send it out to him to talk about this one, 24-12. Gatlinburg-Pittman in the lead. What have you seen from the Highlanders, Sam?
Well, first off, I got to mention, as a debut, as someone coming from Florida, there is nothing like shooting here at Gatlinburg-Pittman High School, where I'm looking to my left and seeing the mountains. That is something but I have never experienced. But yes, so far it has been a relatively competitive first half. Just a 2-score game right now as Gatlinburg-Pittman got that field goal to go into the break to extend that to a 2-score game. But it has been relatively competitive. We started off very, very sloppy on both sides, where right off the bat we got a Gatlinburg-Pittman fumble. Fulton recovers deep in Highlander territory, and on the very next play, an interception. Fulton throws an interception to Gatlinburg-Pittman. So now Pittman's taken over and they're marching down the field. They get the first score of the game on a bit of trickery. We saw that a bit when we came over that flick pass. They did one of those, and then it was a reverse pass to the end zone that ended up being the first score of the night to take a 7-0 lead. Fulton, what they're winning right now is the big plays. Highlanders are winning the line of scrimmage. They're winning the things that really just end up winning football games, which is the line of scrimmage, the penalties, but they keep on giving up those big plays that end up with the 12 points that the Falcons have tonight. So far it has been Gatlinburg-Pittman's game to lose, but if they keep giving up those big plays, those third down plays that end up turning into touchdowns or first and goal situations, then we could see a competitive finish here in Gatlinburg.
Sam, we appreciate it. Again, welcome to the team. We're so excited to have you here. We'll let you catch your breath for a second. We saw Gatlinburg-Pittman come on the field behind you. So catch your breath. You got a second half of football to come, my friend. But again, welcome to Knoxville. Glad to have you here. But yeah, that's an interesting game to watch. Gatlinburg-Pittman, it is a great place to watch football. That is for sure. They got
all
great support.
of those stadiums up in the mountains, gorgeous
yeah.
sunsets,
Yeah.
gorgeous backgrounds.
That's exactly
I love
right.
a sunset.
Hey, a couple of games we've been watching for you. Oak Ridge has been taking on Dobyns-Bennett tonight. And Oak Ridge, boy, they are off like gangbusters
They are off
this year.
to a fantastic start. Oak Ridge.
So this is some earlier action. Yeah.
Dobyns-Bennett. Both of these teams, 3-0. Someone's not going to be unbeaten coming out of this one. So
yeah, Demillion Porter with the carry here, taking it right up the middle, getting into the end zone for a score from Oak Ridge. But Dobyns-Bennett, as you mentioned, Casey, I mean, they are tough. Both teams coming in, like you said, with those unbeaten records. Here with a key interception there for Dobyns-Bennett. So the Battle of the Maroons is what we'll call this one, as both teams are wearing that deep red out there on the field. But here's your updated score for you at the break. 16-7, Oak Ridge on top. Oak Ridge has scored like 126 points this year. I mean, they are just explosive. So the fact that Dobyns-Bennett holding them right now to 16 says a lot about Dobyns-Bennett's defense.
yeah, each game that Oak Ridge has won, they have done it convincingly.
Right.
But right now, 16-7, I mean.
Yeah, it's a close game.
Close game.
But Dobyns-Bennett, if you follow high school football in East Tennessee, especially up in the Tri-Cities, Dobyns-Bennett, Science Hill, two of the powerhouses up there. So.
And both visiting Knoxville.
And
this
both coming to
Friday.
Knoxville. Maybe they saved gas and came down on the same bus. I doubt it. Let's get you updated on another game we've been watching for you tonight. I believe we're going to Bearden. The Bulldogs, as we've been mentioning, Science Hill and Bearden, and this is Science Hill with the football. And last time we checked in on this one, Science Hill was up, and they are still up. And look, this is avoiding would-be tacklers. Bearden just having all kinds of issues tonight at home, taking on Science Hill. So let's get you up to date on the score, where this one stands right now. And at the break, it is 35-0 Science Hill.
And that's Marcus Jones that you just saw bring that one in for Science Hill.
Bearden's
and a couple of
still looking on
defenders
board.
going into the end zone with him there too.
Yeah, Bearden's only scored 13 points this season. So they need to find something here, but they're down 35-0 at the break. So we'll continue to keep you up to date on that one. We've got a lot of games, as you can see, scattered all across our table, and we'll keep you up to date on all the games going on around the area. But stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Bo Williams along with Casey K, bringing you all the action. Week 4 of the high school football season.
Already it
there.
always flies.
No, it does.
Always goes by in a blink of an eye.
And this is when the games start to matter a little bit more, because a lot of these teams are now getting into their district play. You know, so a lot of these games are going to mean a little bit more than maybe what we saw in week 1 and week 2 and maybe even week 3.
Yeah, have a little bit more weight to them for sure. And I believe we're going out to Anderson County visiting Heritage.
Yeah, Anderson County, we're told, just scored again. So last time we were watching this one, it was a 35-19 game, Anderson County. And we're going to get you an update right here, 41-19 with a minute 20 to go. This game was tight. Yeah, I mean, to go in until break. This game was tight through about a quarter and a half. And then as we've been watching here, Anderson County has been opening this one up. So again, the extra point's good, 42-19 as they add to the lead. AC, despite not having their quarterback, losing him in week 1, looking good right now. It seems like they've got the offense moving.
Got the offense moving, but moving in a completely different direction. Looks like there's an injured player down there for
Heritage.
Yeah. So we've got 1:20 left in this one in the half. Again, 42-19. So the Mavs really just running away with this one over the Mountaineers. Also a gorgeous place to shoot high school football.
Great place to shoot high school football. It's a little bit of a drive, but if you've never been out there, it is a great place to go watch football. So if you're Coach Osafet now for Heritage, going into the locker room, again, it's still got over a minute to go, but down 42, at least down 42-19. Maybe Heritage can score here in the next minute to get some points on the board. But what do you tell your players now? You got to regroup them. They can't be down. You got to get them back out there. It's a game of 2 halves.
A game of 2 halves, and I mean, if AC can score 42 points in a half, then Heritage can come back and score 42 points as well.
And last week against South Doyle, Heritage is where they finally put the pedal down and were able to open it up against South Doyle. So we'll see if Heritage can kind of regroup here and get the offense rolling for you. They've got some great weapons. We'll see what they can do in the second half. All right, let's go back to Fulton, Gatlinburg-Pittman. We were talking with Sam. We saw GP coming back out on the field. So we are back now. This is we're in the second half now, third quarter. Gatlinburg-Pittman up 24-12. They got a field goal just, really, literally as the whistle blew to end the first half, and they went in the locker room with that 12-point lead.
Fulton coming in this one with a couple of things on their mind. They want to be disciplined. They want to control what they can control and not dwell on anything good or bad. So you're only down 12 points coming out of the half. You cannot get down on yourself at all. You within 2 scores.
Yeah. This is anybody's game. Still, it is wide open, and I am sure that is what is being said. Justin Long is what he is telling his crew. He's a Fulton grad. It's great to see a lot of these head coaches who are now coaching.
Coming back.
At their alma mater. Right, exactly. Coming back to coach. So I believe he's in his second season now with the Falcons. So Fulton, they've got the football here, and they'd love to get some points on the board to at least make a statement here as we come out in the second half. Yeah,
great to come out of the second half, and you're the team that's down, but you're also the team that has a chance to punch first out of the break.
All right, so Womble, he's going to start things off for us here out of the shotgun. He'll take it, snap a little high, hangs onto it, and he's going to go airborne. If he has anybody, he's going to have to hang on to it now, try to break a tackle or two there. So he picks up a handful of yards for you and moves, gets a little bit closer to that first down as they're at midfield right now for Fulton. So you see there, switch it over to third down. Yeah, third down right now. Oh, fourth down. Sorry. There we go. I was waiting for the
he was a little slow.
The judge there. All right, yeah. Maybe he was waiting for me to tell him. I don't know. We have a player down, though, so they've blown the whistle here, and that does not look too good right now. The trainers are quickly out onto the field, so we hope that young man's going to be okay. But they're going to hold up play here for a little bit as he gets looked at. We'll try to find out who that is. But again, Fulton there getting ready to punt it away more than likely here in just a moment. That we're not able to drive the field, but they do have a player down. We'll see how this one plays out. But that would be tough, though. I mean, obviously you don't want to lose anybody. We'll see how that player's doing. But it would have been great for Fulton if they could have gone down, whether it was a field goal or a touchdown, to get something on the board here right out of the gate.
Yeah, and GP just getting better every week. That's their focus. They want to be best they can come playoff time. That's everyone's goal. But for Gatlinburg-Pittman, just feels a little bit heavier this year because they actually feel like for the first time in 6 years, they have a chance to potentially go all the way without Alcoa being out of their way in 3A.
And this was one of those where, still one of my favorite stories at the beginning of the season when you were doing all of your previews. The Gatlinburg-Pittman, they made the big announcement during school over the PA when it was determined that Alcoa was moving to 4A. They stopped. They said, here's the announcement of the day. It was like breaking news at Gatlinburg-Pittman, as they were happy to see Alcoa move on. Alcoa, by the way, I mean,
just bulldozing through everything and everyone and every team that comes their way.
Yeah, got it rolling this season, that's for sure. But this will really make things interesting for 3A. Alcoa's ruled 3A for the last 10 years. So who's going to win the championship this year for 3A?
There's got to be a new
yeah.
champion crown, which will be exciting. It'll be the first time in a decade that has happened. Now, you mentioned your favorite Gatlinburg-Pittman memory. Let me give you mine, which was the Bear visiting practice.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Week 1, we had that video a few weeks back. The Bear that snuck into the stadium up there in the mountains, and he saw that Gatlinburg-Pittman has a chance to go to the postseason, go all the way, and he wanted to be a part of it.
He was showing his support. You never know in the mountains who's going to turn up, right?
Yeah, you never know.
It might just be a bear. All right, Powell, William Blount, our game of the week. This one was all Powell in the first half. William Blount's got to answer here in the second half as we're underway.
Looks like try for the onside kick.
Well, they're going to try to make things a little difficult there for Fulton, that's for sure, or for Powell, that's for sure, but a nice return for the Panthers as he's all wrapped up there on the far side. So Powell's going to get the football. They'll try to add to their lead, and we're going to take you for a walk here down the sideline as we get in position to bring you Powell here as they get ready to set up and see if they can add more to their
nice little night
to their
sky
total.
out there, very clear.
It's clear. It is clear. It is a comfortable night. Great night for high school football. Obviously, great weather tomorrow too for the Vols as they get ready to take on Georgia. All right, several other games back underway. So let's take you back out. Let's get you back out to Fulton and Gatlinburg-Pittman. We understand there's a flag. It sounds like offsides on the play. So just when we thought they were getting ready to see some action, here we go. Gatlinburg-Pittman now. They move the ball quickly, and now they got it all set up for you. So GP with the ball. Tyson Sutton still in at quarterback. 12-point lead right now for Gatlinburg-Pittman. They're going to go airborne coming right at you. And there's a touchdown. Wide open. Does he stay in bounds? No.
More yards.
Jackson Severese, the junior. Boy, he was tiptoeing down the. That's tough, man. You got all momentum going.
You could tell he was so conscious of it.
Wide open, though. Great grab, great pass by Sutton.
They're going to be set up on around the 14, it looks like there.
Nice job by Sam, too. Nice framing on
Yeah.
That ball was coming right into your living room.
It was.
Yeah,
It was coming
like
right
that.
at you. Do you think you would catch it?
Absolutely not. All right. We're going to position behind the end zone. That's when you know we're in the red zone. When you see our photographers setting up back behind the end zone, they're going to keep it on the ground this time. Pick up a few yards. Braden Maples, the junior running back there, getting the call for Gatlinburg-Pittman.
And then number 65, Jeffrey Mitchell, taking him down. Just a few yards gained there.
So Gatlinburg-Pittman knocking on the door. We saw Fulton on their first drive, unable to do much with it. Eventually had to punt it away. Gatlinburg-Pittman now taking advantage of it. You can see the clock there in the back. It's 9:30 to go here in the third quarter. 24-12. GP looking to add to the lead. And we'll see what play they call. Well, they did that little flick pass. I mean, it's worked like
Something
twice.
a little fancy.
Yeah. That whistles.
Give the crowd what they like.
So we'll see what
We're
the
going to have
flag
to wait
is.
a few more seconds to see if that's going to be the case here, Bo.
Yeah, I think this one may be against Fulton. So we're going to add 5 yards. Gatlinburg-Pittman will say thank you. We'll take it a little bit closer to the end zone.
And as we said before when we checked in this game, Gatlinburg-Pittman hasn't had their strongest starts, but they have had really strong finishes. The second half has been where they have flourished so far this season.
Sutton on the keeper, takes it
And
in.
he's in.
Yeah, it looked like he motioned for Spence. Spence cut across in front of him, so we're thinking maybe he's going to do the flip pass, but he didn't. He hung on to it this time, and Tyson Sutton takes it into the end zone. So now it is a 30-12 game. We will see here if Rodriguez is able to make it a 31-12 game. But Gatlinburg-Pittman now extending their lead. So they'll quickly get set up for the extra point.
Cohane will hold.
And if Fulton could have come out and put one on the board, could have been setting up themselves for potentially the upset of the early half of the season. But now it's looking a little bit more out of reach with GP now going up 31-12 with that extra point splitting the uprights.
Yep, 9 minutes to go in the third. Gatlinburg-Pittman in control of this one, looking to go to 4-0 on the season. Fulton trying not to drop to 0-4. Again, two teams, as far as records are concerned, going in opposite directions right now. So Fulton's going to try to regroup there on the sidelines. Coach Long's going to give them a little bit of a talking to before they head back out to receive the kick. But right now, Gatlinburg-Pittman on top 31-12. Hey, again, we have not had a chance to check in on. We're going to take you out there now. We want to take a look. This is Karns taking on Clinton tonight. Beavers on the road, 1-2 on the season. Clinton right now 0-2. Last time we checked, it was a 14-10 game. It's a little blurry. No worries there. Packed house at Clinton.
Playing at Dragon Stadium, so they play a little bit away from the school.
Clinton trying to punch it in.
Couple of yards.
Looks like maybe he got a few yards, but not into the end zone. So it looks like Clinton with the football right now, trying to pop this one in.
Oh no, first down.
Like we said, it's 14-10. You could hear the people talking there. It sounds like it's a first down.
First down.
First and goal for Clinton.
The 2-yard line.
I want to thank the Karns AV crew. They are the ones bringing you the game tonight. We appreciate them letting us to look in on their coverage of this game. So we appreciate that. This time, let's see what happens here. Looks like a little scramble, but they get to the end zone. Clinton, it looks like they may have just added 6 more points. Yeah, and you can see the lights.
Yeah.
They're celebrating up there in Anderson County at Clinton. Clinton looking for their first win of the season, so this would be huge to be able to pick this up against Karns tonight.
Yeah, and last time we checked in, it was Clinton trailing 14-10. So if that was still to stand, then Clinton now taking the lead for the night, trying to get their first win under their new head coach as well, one of the youngest head coaches in the state of Tennessee. So big night for them to potentially do it. Karns 1-2 on the season, so they're trying to get 500 on the year so far. Their first win coming last week against Campbell County.
Still got 7 minutes.
Now, if I heard the person talking there, we were having a hard time. We were looking at the scoreboard earlier, and it was, as you can see here, it was a little fuzzy. But I think he may have said it's now 20-10 Clinton.
Not sure, but.
So yeah, we think it's 20-10 Clinton. So we're getting some updates here on the score. So they're going to try to make it a 21-10 game over the Beavers. Again, Clinton, I love that stadium up there. It's right in downtown Clinton, right behind the school there. You're kind of packed in. You got the stands all around you there. It's a great facility there to go watch some high school football.
First time I ever went there, I didn't know that the stadium was not at the high school. That information was accidentally withheld from me. But I mean, you get into town, you can just kind of follow the football lights to make your way there. So it wasn't too hard to get myself there, but definitely was not aware that they did not play directly at the high school. Those are just the fun things you get to discover in your first few months on the job, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, Clinton coming off that loss last week. Last time they were out, lost to William Blount 48-35 in that game. But they had some good numbers. Quarterback Mason Erickson, a junior, 24-35, 375 yards. Actually, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. Yeah, no, that's right. That was Clinton. Yeah, he had a big night. They put up a lot of points on the board, but obviously they came up short against William Blount. But right now they are on top of Karns, 21-10. So things looking pretty good for the Clinton Dragons.
Yeah, Clinton actually beat by 40-plus points the last 2 weeks. So to come away not only with your first win, but also to keep an opposing offense at bay, huge win on both. It would be a huge win on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively for them. They didn't play in week 1. That one was canceled against Heritage due to rain. They played a tiny bit at the beginning, but
yeah, we had like 4 games that week that either they started or some of them didn't even get a chance to step on the field.
Yeah, first time in 4 seasons of me being here for Tennessee high school football that I've seen that many games go no contest in 1 week. We've been very lucky with rain over the last few years on Friday nights across the board, but that first week, had to get a little bit of revenge. So Clinton right now up over Karns 21-10. They are in the third quarter. Like we said, Clinton trying to get their first win of this season.
All right, let's go back out to Gatlinburg-Pittman, head back up to the mountains. Fulton taking on GP. Last time we checked in, Gatlinburg-Pittman scored and took a 31-12 lead. Actually, that said we're going back to William Blount. Nope, now we're going back to, we want to give you the turf, a view of the turf there at William Blount. Now we're going to Gatlinburg-Pittman as they are taking on Fulton.
Yeah, last time we checked in on this game, GP making it 31-12. Fulton got the ball back, but now it looks like they're giving it right back to the Highlanders.
Yeah, they're going to let them just roll for a moment, so Fulton will down it. Gatlinburg-Pittman's offense will come back out. We'll see if Tyson Sutton and friends will be able to move it right back downfield. That's what we've been seeing all night long, is, again, GP in control of this one.
Kind of like how you can hear from the sidelines. You hear the coaches saying, let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
So Sam Granville's right in the mix of it all, bringing us the action.
But also shows, too, even though you're up big, you can't lose that intensity.
No.
You know, the coaching staff, they've got to keep their players going here. So Gatlinburg-Pittman coming up to the line here. They are up big right now, again, on Fulton with a score of 31-12. We're going to keep an eye on this game for you. We're watching a number of games all around the area. We'll check back in on GP in just a second, but we're going back out to our game of the week, Powell and William Blount. And looks like Powell has scored. just now punching into the end zone. And really, they kind of controlled the first half, Casey, and it looks like they're picking up right where they left off.
I feel like there's a trend going on with all these games that we have tonight. It's that the first half was close between the teams, and then now in the second half, someone is establishing themselves and someone is pulling away. And when we had that halftime report with Sam Rothman, she mentioned that the Powell defense is really what the storyline has been with the Panthers, not just this season, but in years past as well. But tonight, the offense really making things happen for them. But I mean, on the other side, limiting William Blount, a high-flying offense, to 8 points. So defense still doing exactly what we thought they would be doing, Bo.
Yeah, 27-8, the extra point's good. Just got through. Listen, they're talking about it. Not the prettiest kick, but you know what?
They can't all be winners.
You saw the arms go up from the officials, so and that's all that matters at the end of the day, you know. So again, Powell on top of this one. 27-8 is the score right now, and things looking pretty good for Deuce Rogers and his crew. Deuce number 2 right there. You see him over on the far sideline.
He almost looks a little frustrated.
Well, I was going to say, you know, the coaching staff, you know, we've talked about this before too. You might be up, but they're not going to. The coaches aren't going to sit back. They're not going to let you relax. You got to maintain that intensity. You got to play 4 quarters of football, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And mentioned William Blount only has 8 points on the board. Last year, Powell, in 8 games, limited their opponents to 8 points or less. That was out of 12 games played. So, not the best at math, but I guess that's 66% of their games. They limited their opponent to 8 points.
Casey,
or
don't
less.
even look at me on that one. Don't even ask me.
I know, I'm looking at Bo.
You know, whatever you say, I'm going to go absolutely.
8 out of 12?
I always have to ask my wife. She was the math person. All right, in our relationship. All right, 27-8 the score. South Doyle Carter. Let's go back out and check on this one for a little bit and find out what's going on out there. This one's been a tight game. We're going to find out a score here in just a moment. South Doyle with the football. Looks like they're trying to move that ball downfield. Let's see where we're going on. 24-14 your score right now. So Carter on top. 24-14 as we are in the third. Let's a little over 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. So we appreciate our crew there, getting a shot at the scoreboard, getting us up to date, getting you up to date on what's going on this one. Both these teams coming in 2-1 on the season. They played last year. Carter won that one.
52-20.
Yeah, it wasn't even close last year.
52-20.
Brody Sparks, 24 of 36, 281 yards, 4 touchdowns. One of those was a rushing touchdown also for Carter. Here comes South Doyle coming right back at you, and Mill Crenshaw. Boy, we saw him.
Right at the camera.
Yeah, right at the camera, but we didn't move. And I think, is that Dave running that camera out there?
I believe that's Kayla.
Oh, is that Kayla running that camera? Kayla Precht didn't move. So Kayla, way to stay in there and get that shot. But you know what? Mill Crenshaw, the sophomore, number 0 there, last time we checked in, had that huge run down the sideline for the score. Another big gain for him there. He likes to get it outside, and if you give him a little bit of room there, as you can see there, he's got some speed, and it can cause some problems for the opposing defense. So let's see what they do here. They're knocking on the door. Again, South Doyle only won 1 game last year.
Only 1 game. They had a young team last year. They were hoping that the experience gained with those youngsters paid off this year.
Almost brought in.
Looks like he's kind of hoping for a little bit of pass interference there. Number 12 waving his hands up.
Rondell North?
Rondell North, yeah. I mean, like, come on, give it to me.
Almost hauled that
Sounds
one
like he
in.
was saying that's my football.
Yeah, it's my fault. Yeah, my football
my
or my
fault.
fault. I'm not sure.
One of them.
My something.
My something.
That's right. But again, they are knocking on the door. Silverdale at Grace Christian right now. We're going to check in on that one, even though we're taking a look here at South Doyle. They are driving and knocking on the door. Been some banging company. We'll let you know if they were able to punch this one in here. As again, let's see if they take this snap. Let's hang on to this game for a second.
Yeah, let's hang on to this game
because they're close here. And again, South Doyle, they're keeping it on the ground. There's the handoff. You know what? There's the sophomore again. That's Crenshaw. Takes it down to about the 1-yard line. So they are so close right now to putting 6 more up on the board. But you got to take your hat off to the South Doyle team. Like we mentioned, they were 1-9 last season.
1-9 last
right
season.
Now. Yeah, things have really turned around for this crew. And a couple of those names, you know, Crenshaw, who we just mentioned, North, who we saw almost pull in that one-handed grab in the end zone. These are sophomores.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of these kids are going to be back next year.
So they were young, really young last year, and they're still young this year. They're just back with a little bit more experience than what they had in Larry Hedrick's first year as a head coach for the Cherokees.
And Brang, the quarterback, who on the sneak looks like he may have got it in. He's a junior, so he'll be back next year.
Looks like some of the Cherokees are signaling they got the hands up.
Well, let's see.
Number
Refs, yeah,
19
there they
is
go. They
convinced.
said, yeah, okay, they had to confer there for a moment, but touchdown South Doyle.
Yeah, Sean Hall wasn't letting that one go. He was like, no, I saw it. I saw it
right.
go over the line. So that'll put South Doyle back in the mix. Going to
Right.
get a one-score game. So right now they're down 24-20. We'll see if they go for 2 or go for the
I'm going to guess they're going to see it.
kick.
So let's pull it back in within, well, I don't know their kicking, if they've got a, how well their kicking game is, but let's see what they've got, how they're going to set this up. Yeah, they're going to kick. So they're going to pull it within a field goal. Pull within 3 here. This is always, no, actually they're going to go for 2. My bad. So let's see what happens. Something a little different. Oh my goodness gracious.
That one tricked me.
I
I was like,
didn't
where'd
know
he
where
come
I was
from?
looking. That is fantastic.
Number 16, Isaiah Mitchell.
Can we slow that one down?
He is the
I gotta
kicker.
see that one again.
So he is the kicker, but
Yeah.
he just brought in 2.
Well, that's a different way to do it. I mean, you know what?
Fooled us.
I say just give him the ball. All right, 24-22 the score. Yeah, South Doyle now. What a play.
Yes, the South Doyle coming off their first loss of the season last week, 35-14 against Heritage. Hedrick, head coach, proud of the upperclassmen this week. So we mentioned they are really young, but they do have a few upperclassmen, some senior leadership. Really proud of how they stepped up as positive leaders in that hour of diversity, coming off that loss, the first loss of the season, and now they're trying to get right back in the win column.
Yeah, 24-22. So that's a game we're going to keep a close watch on. We're going to go back out to GP here for a second. Gatlinburg-Pittman hosting Fulton, the Falcons, making the trip back up to the mountains, and Fulton just punched it into the end zone. So Fulton not going away despite being down in this one. Wobble with the score there, it looks like. So Fulton, again, getting 6 more points. They were down 31-12 last time we checked in on this one. Now it is a 38-18 game.
So GP,
Yeah.
Gatlinburg-Pittman also getting in there. So still
But this is what you want to see.
20-point spread.
But you want to see your team still fighting.
Yeah,
right?
still fighting. If Fulton can score here, they will have more points in this game than they have through 3 games total this season. So that's big for them, just getting something moving, especially against one of the best teams you're going to find in 3A around the state.
So they're going to go for 2 to try to pull this to within an 18-point difference. And they're going to, well, there's the fake, the handoff. Oh, he dropped the football, picks it
And
back up, but I
take it
don't
down.
think he's going to get into the end zone. So 38-18. It is a 20-point game.
Is no good.
As Fulton went for 2 there, and we're unable to punch it in. But they do put 6 more back on the board. So 38-18, Gatlinburg-Pittman on top in this one in the second half. And again, you got to take your hat off to Fulton. All right, stay with us. We're going to have much more action for you right now as Gatlinburg-Pittman still in control at home. And we'll take you around the area as Friday Frenzy Live continues after this. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Let's get you up to date on some scores that have been happening. This is a replay for you. Anderson County, this was earlier. I'd say Anderson County taking care of business right now on the road at Heritage. And Lavelle, who's been playing quarterback, doing a nice job hanging onto the football. He's really done a nice job stepping in for the injured QB there at Anderson County.
Yeah, stepping into a role that he normally does not play. Usually is playing cornerback defensively is what he's listed at as a senior, though. So definitely has experience within this Mavs offense and defense. So easy for him to step in and facilitate the offense how they need to be.
They are in control. This is Bradley Central on the road, taking on Farragut, the Admirals, with the quick pass across the middle, and that's going to go for a touchdown. So Farragut was down at the half in this one. Let's see, it was 14-3. They score here is 21-10 right now, the score. Bradley Central, the Bears, leading the Admirals, but Farragut, a nice little play there, but they are in the fourth, so Admirals have some room they've got to make up. And then we showed this to you. It was kind of a wide shot earlier. Here's what we, here's a little closer view for you when Clinton took that lead just a few moments ago against Karns.
Yeah, he's barely holding to that ball there as he gets himself into the end zone. That's number 5 for Clinton.
Jalen Benjamin. Yeah, the quarterback.
Yeah, so Clinton up 21-10. Like we mentioned earlier, they're trying to get their first win of the year. They're 0-2 because they did not finish their week 1 game. Both of their games the last 2 weeks, they have been beaten by 40+ points. So they're limiting Beavers to the 10 points, which is almost as impressive as them getting those points on the board offensively.
Let's go back out to Fulton and Gatlinburg-Pittman. And this game now all of a sudden has been up and down the field. Gatlinburg-Pittman just punched it into the end zone. Last time we checked in, Fulton had scored to make it a 20-point game. They were down 38-18, but now Gatlinburg-Pittman has come right back down the field, and the Highlanders putting it into the end zone. 44-18 right now in the third. We're almost to the fourth, about 1:44 left to go in the third quarter. So they'll bring – we actually have a new kicker in for Gatlinburg-Pittman, and doesn't miss. Oh, no, he did miss. All right, so it just went wide to the left there. But 44-18 is the score right now. Gatlinburg-Pittman on top of Fulton in this one.
Like you mentioned, Bo, last year Fulton actually took this one 34-14. One of just 3 losses that Highlanders had on their schedule last year.
So we'll go back out to Powell and William Blount. Game of the week that we've been watching. So far, this one's been all Powell on the Deuce Rogers show, as his crew has really been taking care of business. And let's get you up to date as we take a look at the score. 33-16 right now is the score in the third. Again, 33-16 Powell. So William Blount has been able to get into the end zone, but Powell's still up big right now in this one on the road. Both teams coming into this game, as we mentioned, Casey, unbeaten. So this would be huge for either of these teams to continue that streak coming out of this one.
Yeah, first half we saw Deuce Rogers and company, a couple of different guys trying their hand at quarterback, but it looks like in the second half they're relying on the senior here to do the work offensively, and he's going to take the handoff. Looks like he's going to fire downfield.
It is complete.
By Grady Goodpaster, the junior, going to catch that one for Powell off of the Rogers pass.
A big pickup there as once again they continue to move the chains here as Powell's look good tonight on both sides of the football, that is for sure. You guys have been mentioning throughout the evening Powell known for their stingy defense, but offensively they're been able to maintain control of the football. And right now, still driving. This is Rogers again on the keeper. Looked like he was trying to tell somebody maybe to go long, or either that or he was just trying to throw the defensive player off a little bit. But Rogers picking up just a few yards, but didn't have really anybody to go to. All right, take a look at a highlight for you from earlier. Again, this was Powell and a little razzle-dazzle. And look at that off the tip drill, and that's going to go for a touchdown. So a great job by Powell. Dezion Jackson, the junior, hauling it in, good concentration. And Camarion Finner, the senior, with the pass. Look, takes the handoff, and then it's tipped by a defender there, and boy, hauled in there by Jackson, who takes it in. So again, a great job that time by Powell, as they are up right now 33. Last time we checked, 33-16 is the score now there. So William Blount was able to add 8 more points, but again, they still have a lot of room they've got to make up. So we're going to go back to live action now. And
Deuce Rogers on the run once again, rolling out to the side.
And that's what you got to do.
He's going to go down himself.
At this point, just keep it in his hands, right?
Yeah, that was third down, so we'll see if they're close enough to try to go for it on fourth, or if they're going to punt it away to the Govs and give them an opportunity. But just like a lot of these games that we're watching tonight, seems like one team has kind of taken control earlier in the second half and kind of running away with it, which is nothing new for Powell. We've seen it earlier this year. It looks like they got the first down.
So first down for the Panthers as they will keep possession.
Got Deuce Rogers still in a quarterback.
Yep, still out of the shotgun. Kind of surveying the defense. We're going to add some more points to the board for Powell. Quick pitch. And they're coming right at you. Pick up here for Powell. Nice run. This is number 6, Ori Venata Walker.
Looks like he goes out right before the 30.
So eventually he's knocked out of bounds, but again, Powell threatening once again to put some more points on the board. We'll get in position for you here.
And Jatalis Henderson. Just kidding. That would be for Powell.
So Deuce Rogers. Let's see what he has up his sleeve this time. Does he hang on to it, or do we go airborne? Rogers, the quick handoff. There we go, straight up the middle. And again, it is Venanda Walker on the call. So they stay on the ground with it. Run the clock a little bit.
Sam's on the run too.
Sam's
to
on
make
the
sure
run
that
as well.
she can get the best spot for this.
Sam's already in the end zone.
Powell touchdown. She's in the end zone. We'll see if Powell can get into the end zone as well. So Powell went down to the wire against Farragut in week 2. Last week they convincingly beat Calls, specifically in the second half, which is pretty much what they're doing here right now. First week, as we've mentioned, that game ruled a no contest. So they're 2-0 on the season. They were down in that game against AC 18-17 technically when it was declared no contest. But they're trying to stay unbeaten on the year.
They're going to keep the ball on the ground. Again, another handoff up the middle.
Powell had a fun little situation last week. They had a defensive lineman score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Iverson Garcia. Have to assume that's probably the first of his career. Probably going to be the one and only. But that was a fun little thing that happened against Halls for Powell and Powell's defense. You know, not only can they hold teams to 16 points, but they can also score the football. Bring in some points as well.
Walker
on the
on
offense, they can do it all.
They can do it all. Walker on the carry. He's had his number called here a handful of times since we've come back to this game, as Powell continues to move the ball downfield.
We saw a lot of change up with the quarterback that first half. It looks like they're sticking with Rogers. Looks like he pitched it out to the side.
And Walker again. Yeah, Vananda Walker getting his number called here in the second half quite a bit. Senior running back.
Sam's going to get in an even better position for us.
So they continue to run the clock. They are up. Powell in no big hurry.
Coming into this game, William Blount knew.
In the third. They're going to let this one run
the clock here.
Yeah.
Coming into this game, William Blount knew that Powell's toughness and physical play was going to be kind of the calling card for them.
Yeah, just when I think they're not going to run a play, they run a play, and the pass is it caught? No.
No. Intended for Charles Lamblin.
Patrick Stongner on the coverage there for William Blount. But there you go. After 3 quarters, it is 33-16. Powell on top. So they've been in control really from the get-go. They scored on their opening drive, and they really haven't looked back in this game. They were down by 1 for just a moment.
William Blount
went for 2, made it 8-7, and then after that, it's pretty much all been Powell.
Yeah, William Blount looking to establish themselves in 5A.
Right.
First time back in 5A in 10 years when they were classified as 6A when 6A came into existence. Now they're back down in 5A. Powell, one of the biggest powers that they knew coming into the season they were going to have to face. Because it doesn't get any easier in 5A, even when you come down from 6A. It does not get any easier. And right now we're going to bring you out live to a different game. Looks like we got South Doyle.
Carter and South Doyle.
Carter.
So this was 24-22 the last time we checked in on this one. South Doyle had moved it downfield, went for 2 in one of the more interesting 2-point conversions I think we've seen.
By the kicker.
By the kicker, and made it a 2-point game. So South Doyle with the ball once again. Benson Brang.
Oh.
And we've got a fumble, and, well, they retain the possession. That's Camarion Rice.
Fumbled that twice. It bounced right off the ground into his hands.
Maybe almost like Aussie rules football, if you ever watched that.
Kind of like if you're like skipping a rock on a lake. It just like bounces up, bounces up. That's kind of what it looks like there. Last year, this game for Carter was their highest scoring game of the season against South Doyle. So tonight, nice and close.
It is
24-22.
Going to the 4th.
Carter on top heading into the final 12 minutes out in South Knoxville.
So a lot of these games, a couple of them, I say a lot of them, a couple of them are going to come down to the wire. Look, they turned the lights out there for a moment at South Doyle. We'll come back there for a second. We're going back out to Gatlinburg-Pittman where the lights are on. And this one's been up and down here in the second half for both these teams. We saw Gatlinburg-Pittman score just a few moments ago. This was right after Fulton had scored.
Gatlinburg-Pittman being strong in the second half so far this season through 3 games.
Looks like Gatlinburg-Pittman with the football here now in the 4th.
First down.
First down, yeah. Threatening once again.
So last time we checked in, 44-18 in the Highlanders' favor. And they're just going to keep pouring it on here. Last week they only won by a point. Right now we got the handoff to number 3 for the Highlanders.
And touchdown. Braden Maples. Cut it to the outside.
Made it look easy.
Made it look real easy. Too easy. Touchdown, though, for Gatlinburg-Pittman as they're continuing to add to their lead.
So that should bring it 50-18. Unless we missed a score.
Nope, there you go. 50-18 with 9:23 Clock still running at this point.
I'm going to see if they can tack on another point here, break that 50 mark.
Right. Last time they missed the extra point, so let's see if they can convert here. And the kick is up. And
Kick is no good.
no good. But 50 points on the board for Gatlinburg-Pittman now against Fulton. All right. Silverdale at Grace.
And as we go over there, 50 points, the most that Gatlinburg-Pittman has scored this season. 44 in week 1, 23 in week 2, and then just 21 last week.
24-24, the score here. Grace, by the way, unbeaten at 2-0. Silverdale coming in at 2-1. Grace going up top. And broken up there. It was just in the corner of the screen there, but Silverdale coming up with a big defensive play for you. Last year, Silverdale won this one 44-22. But tonight it is a 24-24 game.
Grace Christian operating without their star, Terrion Thomas, this year, who's expected to be really big for them at running back, so a huge offensive piece missing. However, they've been okay. They've been fine.
They really have. And Thomas had a big game despite losing last season. He had 16 carries, 78 yards, 2 touchdowns in that game against Silverdale last year. So they would have loved to have him out there to try to replicate that this season. But anyhow, that's a 24-24 game. Stay with us. We got more action for you as we're continuing to follow all the high school football action. This Friday Frenzy Live will be right back. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Let's get you up to date with the latest. Powell and William Blount, and we're bringing you the live action for you right now. William Blount with the football, just trying to get some points on the board. Powell now up, we're told, 40-16 in the fourth. So William Blount on the quarterback keep out of the shotgun, and that's pretty much how things have gone all night long.
And that's that Powell defense that we've been talking about. William Blount averaging 52 points a game through week 1, week 2, week 3. Tonight, right now, just 16. Week 1, they shut out Loudon. They had 49 against Austin East in week 2, 59 points. And then last week over Clinton, 48. So 16, very rare from them from what we've seen so far this season for the Govs.
Isaiah Amador all fired up, as you saw there, for Powell. As, again, that Powell defense looking good tonight, causing all kinds of problems for William Blount. And the Governors, looks like they were going for it there on fourth down. So that was a fourth down play. They could not convert. Powell gets the football back, and they are sticking with their main man, Deuce Rogers.
And Deuce Rogers is giving a little helmet tap there to his guy behind him. Being, I got you, man. We're going to
So let's see if they just keep it on the ground, and they do. That play really doesn't go anywhere. Kashawn Thomas, the freshman, getting the call.
Getting some young guys in there.
And I think that's what you got to do in a situation like this. Grab the Dramamine. We're going to take you for a run here down the sideline. But Thomas, a freshman, they're going to try to run some clock for you there. They're up, in control of this game right now. So this is a great opportunity for them to get some of their younger kids in there, get them a chance to play, building for seasons to come.
Yeah, Powell, another one of those teams, kind of like Alcoa. It doesn't seem like they really rebuild. They just reload with the pieces. So games like this, great opportunity to build those other pieces up, and you never know, injury comes in, you might be able to get some other guys in, might need someone to step up, so always good.
Silverdale at Grace Christian, this one all tied up at 24. Grace Christian on the rollout, the throw into the end zone, it is caught. Or no, did he? Yeah.
It's in that one corner of the end zone that we can barely see on the screen.
He did, that is a catch. So a huge play for Grace Christian. They are looking to go to 3-0 on the season, and they're not wasting any time. Quickly, back to it they go. Take the snap, keep it on the ground. Can they get it over the goal line? They are knocking on the door. They're about a yard short right now.
Yeah, see, that one comes up just short, but they are moving with that fast-paced tempo. Fun fact about Grace Christian, head coach is up in the press box rather than down on the sideline with the team. So some coaches like to be up top, some like to be down on the sideline.
Did they punch it in? Let's see. I haven't seen the signal from the official. I see it from all the Grace players. The lights go crazy, but well, they're calling it a touchdown. I didn't see the arms go up from the officials, but Yeah, I'm not so sure. Well, I guess they are setting up for the extra point, so there you go. I didn't see the officials put their arms up, but all the Grace Christian players did, and we'll take it. So they're going to look to take
up for the extra point
Yes,
now, so I guess it's golden.
Yeah, 30-24, and it's good.
And that should pull them ahead.
Yep.
Because last time we checked in, 24 all.
So it should be 31-24. Grace Christian, boy, what a big game this would be if they're able to hang on to this one. As we mentioned last year, they lost 44-22 to Silverdale, but Grace Christian now up by a touchdown in the fourth. This one's going to come down to the wire, I have a feeling.
Yeah, last year, I believe Grace Christian only with 2 losses in the regular season. So Silverdale Academy, one of the ones that was able to get one over on them, but I'm sure that Grace Christian would love a little bit of revenge.
Yeah, Silverdale last year 9-3 on the season. Let's continue checking in on the live action for you right now and get you up to date. Carter at South Doyle. We've been watching this one closely for you, and it looks like Carter just scored, and so we're coming up on the kickoff here. This game's been back and forth. It was 24-22 just a few moments ago. Carter, I'm not sure if they scored a touchdown or a field goal. We'll get you an update here in just a moment. It was a touchdown, I'm told, so I'm assuming it's 30-22. They may have missed on the extra point.
Either way, up by a score.
There we go. Yep, 30-22. Still plenty of time, just under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
Carter being led at quarterback by our reigning WATE Player of the Week, Brody Sparks. 3rd year for him. Only a junior still. He still has got one more year, but 3rd year leading the charge under center for Carter. Said last year he really found out that if he just kind of calmed himself down, took a step back, didn't put too much pressure, that was really going to help him out on the field. And I said, how did you know that it did? He said, well, started getting a few more passing yards every game. So their offense hugely facilitated by him this year. Last week he had 5 touchdowns in the first half, 403 passing yards. Also helps, as he said, to have guys like Jody Scruggs who you can pass the ball to.
Well, that always helps, yeah, definitely. And he just comes across as a kid that has a lot of confidence. I know when we were talking to him, it really came across that. That's Jeremiah Smith, by the way, on the return for South Doyle. So here's what you missed, and this was Carter on the score that extended their lead, breaking a few tackles, and actually got close, got down to about the 2-yard line, and then they were able to punch it in for the score. So Carter again up now 30-22. That's
going to be Joseph Armena.
Yep.
That brought that in.
So take a look at it one more time. Just that short run, lowers that shoulder and barrels his way in and picks up a key touchdown there for Carter in what has been a very tight game. So can South Doyle answer? This is kind of a repeat of the situation they found themselves in against Heritage a week ago. This was a back and forth game. Heritage started to open up. South Doyle was trying to answer, so let's see if they can get it done this time around. And there's Mill Crenshaw again. I like watching this sophomore run. I mean, every time he touches the ball, you think he can break it open.
Yeah, he's definitely doing some work on the ground for the Cherokees today. That is for sure. South Doyle trying to make sure that just winning the big games doesn't get in the way of their success. They got to win every single one that they can. So that's what they kind of felt like they did last week, kind of took a back seat. And a loss got handed to them, so big focus in practice this week was just getting the mind right going into this one against Carter.
All right, so Brang takes the snap, hands it off again to Crenshaw, off the right tackle, finds some room, picks up some more yardage, so South Doyle on the move.
He's the one with the hot hand tonight.
Yeah, I tell you what, he's looked good. He's had some big runs that we've brought you here live, one of which was a huge touchdown run for South Doyle that pulled them within 2 points. And they're looking for some big things from him here once again. They got the junior quarterback in there. You were mentioning they got a lot of youngsters here, but they do have a few seniors on this team, some upperclassmen that they're really hoping to kind of lead these younger players.
Yeah, always good when you have upperclassmen who can kind of wrangle those young guys, put them on the right path, and they got a lot of chance to play last year, which is huge. I feel like that's why we're seeing, a little bit of an increased production from South Doyle this year. So QB runs out of bounds there.
Yeah, he was looking for somewhere to go with it, but there was nowhere to go with that football, so he hangs on to it.
Yeah, Benson Brang there.
It's going to bring up second down.
Run.
Yep, for South Doyle. I'm trying to think. It seems like, now granted, my kids have graduated a long time ago. It seemed like South Doyle used to wear blue. It was like their prominent color, blue and red. And now I like this whole red look, though.
It almost looks like Jefferson County's uniforms, a little bit.
Quick pass out to Kamarian Rice. Nice little spin move, but wasn't able to elude any of the tacklers there. Nice little pat on the helmet. Nice tackle. I like that to see the sportsmanship there. Nice tackle Devontae Scruggs for Carter.
Talking about uniforms, Bo, you got a favorite in the area, color-wise?
Well, you brought Jefferson County up. I mean, when you bring
you
back the old New England Patriot
logo,
that is. I mean, I'm not a Patriots guy, but I do love the logo, and so I got to say, Jefferson County, from a helmet standpoint, is one of my favorites.
Yeah, you always look at Farragut, you kind of get Dallas Cowboy
vibes. Feel, right?
Dallas
yeah,
Cowboy
exactly.
feel.
Too, which is a great helmet too. I mean, there's a lot of good helmets, a lot of great uniforms around the
area. We're back
area.
out live now.
Yeah, Crenshaw again on the carry. This time straight up the middle.
Well, you're going to know his name after tonight.
Yeah.
Sophomore.
Highlight his name, and again, he's just a sophomore. We're going to be talking about this kid, hearing his name for several years to come.
And defensively listed as an outside linebacker. We haven't seen much of that tonight because every time we see him, he's doing something offensively. For the Cherokees.
Yeah, lots of times we've checked in tonight. South Doyle's had the football, but Carter, you can't take anything away from them. They are on top right now in this game. Their offense has been moving the ball. They are looking good, up by 8 right now in this one. South Doyle trying to tie this one up if they can. That time, though, Carter, a nice job defensively.
Something that's really aided South Doyle, not just this year, but last year, is just the vulnerability between the team. They really opened up. That started at the helm with their head coach, opening up to his team, and then they in turn opened up to him. Really has helped their brotherhood and their bond, especially with a young team. A lot of guys coming back this year, same mentality. And something that's also contributed to their strong start 2-1 on the season, comparison to last year's sole win on the year in Larry Hedrick's first year. So
yeah, 1-9 last season. Here's Brang again, trying to find a receiver, but now going to hang on to it. Yep, slides. They'll keep moving the ball. You know they're moving downfield when the photographer has to get repositioned. Got to stay out in front. When you shoot, how far advanced? How far downfield?
About 10 yards. It's kind of the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Can always go down more because no matter what, they're either going to come to you or you're going to have to go on the other side. And then once they get into the red zone, it's kind of when you loop around and go on the end zone, although sometimes I like to be on the corner because you can see a little bit better. Just kind of how you see it from the corner, from the diagonal coming all the way down here. It's a little bit harder when you're straight on.
Looks like we might have some motion here from South Doyle. They're going to march this one back a little bit. The flag comes out. Yeah, I remember back in my day, it's been a long time since I covered sports or shot sports, but covering the Citadel, who ran the wishbone, I got to the point I was like, I'm just going to line up behind you because I have no idea where the ball's going. It was only for me to really follow the play. So I guess it depends on the type of offense they run. We'll check back in with South Doyle here in just a second. They are on the move, though the penalty taking them in the opposite direction. But so far they've been looking pretty good. Really relying, though, on the sophomore running back Crenshaw so far.
Yeah, really relying on him. Someone we've seen them go to in previous weeks, Jeremiah Smith, the junior wide receiver. So tonight really working more the ground game rather than going to the air, but it's been working. I mean, they're just down technically a score if you go for 2. So that one's pretty close.
Yeah, we
one
got
of those games that
games.
Hasn't had someone take really control too much in the second half like some of our other games tonight.
We've had a few get out of hand, and we've had some that look like they're going to come down to the wire here in the fourth, one of which is the one that we're going to go look at the turf. But trust me, South Doyle at Carter, this is a good game. This has been a tight game. It's been back and forth right now. South Doyle let's see, they're at home and hoping to tie this one up. They're going to need 8 points. We got another flag? Now they're going the opposite direction. So take 5 away, add 5 back.
And then South Doyle's moving back down the field.
So maybe
a couple of yards closer.
Yeah. I'm going to move this one up a little bit. So I'm not sure what the call was, but there you kind of get an idea. Was it 5, 10, 15? I'm trying to figure out where they are. But they are knocking on, let's see, 5, 10, 15, just out, maybe outside the 20.
They are very much still in this
absolutely.
one
Absolutely.
against the Hornets.
And, we've watched these guys for most of the season. I like Brang as a quarterback. He does a nice job. Again, still trying to find somebody. Carter's done a great job defensively of not letting their receivers get open. Carter, we have to take our hat off defensively. I mean, Brang, we've seen this a number of times. He's looking, and there's nowhere to go.
Yeah, every time he looks for the air, we do have a flag here on the ground, but every time he looks for the air, can't make it happen. So it makes sense why they've been going with Crenshaw a lot on the ground game.
we'll head back there in just a moment. So we're going to take a look at a kickoff here. This is Grace Christian getting ready to kick off here. They are in the all navy.
I'm very
Silverdale
happy with our team, win or lose
in the
tonight.
white.
I feel it's a very good effort. I just really hope we can
And
pull out
looks
a win.
like this one, no, there'll be no return on this one for you. Whoop. 38-24, though, the score. Grace has added to their leads since the last time we looked. It was 30-24. We brought you down. They had a huge completion downfield, and then they were able to punch it in a few plays later to make it 30-24. They've added more points. It was 31-24. Now it's 38-24. So, again, Grace Christian on top. Let's go back to Carter South Doyle. As we saw, South Doyle was driving, and there's a touchdown. So there's our guy again, Mill
Finally
Crenshaw.
getting it in. He
Getting
moved
it in
him
again,
down
yeah.
the field the entire drive, finally getting himself through the end zone and into pay dirt there.
All right, don't get hurt on the celebration.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. You got to think they're going to go for two, right? Because that should, and again, I was a communications major in college. I was no mathematician, but that should make it a 30-28 game. And it looks like, yeah, Brang staying in there, the quarterback.
Yes, they're going to look to tie it up here, is what you would assume. I'm not quite sure how much time is left. Maybe able to
We'll get an update
see
here.
on the clock here in a second. Over there, we got the coaching staff.
Whoop, there we go,
Got
4:30.
4:30.
So 30
Left
to
in the
28.
fourth.
Yep. Oh, so here we
So
go.
they're going for two.
There's
And-
Brang. Did he hang on to it? Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. All right. So
I also
we are
thought
all
the same
tied
thing,
up.
Bo.
Yeah.
Looks like it was caught a little
I
low.
know.
Wasn't sure. So that's going to tie things up. at
Kamarion Rice.
30 apiece.
Yeah, the
So we
junior
got
wide
ourselves
receiver.
a ball game here with 4:30 left in the fourth.
I like this one.
Carter is going to get a chance.
Yep. We're going to look at the Carter offense. Like I said, every time it seems like we've been checking in on this one. Carter has scored, and then we have to see. We're watching South Doyle's response. Now we'll come in on this one. We'll see what Carter can do. We'll see if they can respond here and retake the lead. But 30-30 with 4:30 to go. South Doyle, both teams 2-1 coming in this one. Carter as well. Both teams would love to improve to 3-1 at this early stage of the season.
Yeah, we're about to see Carter on offense. That means we're going to see that W8CE Player of the Week, Brody Sparks, in action through 3 games so far this season. He's got nearly 1,000 passing yards so far this year, 403 of those coming last week. I asked him, what is the goal for the year when you already have nearly 1,000 after 3 weeks? And he said the goal would be 3,000 by the end of the season. So he is well on his way to getting
I remember when he said that.
that.
We saw 3,000. We're like, well, why not? You know?
Yeah, why not? I mean, maybe even 4, to be honest, depending on how deep Carter goes in that postseason. But now we're taking you out live. Silverdale at Grace Christian. So we just gave you the score on this one, 38-24. Grace exploding away after their last touchdown.
And-
When we
and-
first checked in on this one, it was 24-all.
Yeah, and they've got the football once again off of a turnover by Silverdale. So Grace now already threatening once again with the ball at the 41-yard line. Going to call in the play. Let's see after the turnover if they can try to go deep with this one.
It's going to
Quarterback
keep.
Get some room.
Doesn't look
Picks
like
up,
he's going to move the sticks too.
No, about 5 yards, possibly on the
pickup.
carry. Yeah, keeps the clock running. They're in the fourth quarter on this one.
Now, Grace has an interesting stadium. Almost gives like a college feel. You just feel surrounded. Like
Right.
the stands feel on top of you. It's a really unique environment. Makes for a really loud environment as well.
Can be intimidating for those teams coming in, that is for sure.
Yeah.
Grace Christian, unbeaten on the season.
We've been seeing them run a little bit fast. A
Yeah.
little bit more of that quick tempo, but a little slow here. It looks like they're trying, they're going to move downfield and someone move on defense there. So they're going to get a pickup of 5.
Receivers are going to be up by 3 points.
So again, things looking good for Grace as they are continuing to move the football and threatening once again. They'll move the chains. That picked up a first down. We saw the 5-yard carry, then you add the 5 on the penalty, and they got to get the sticks set back up here and really not wasting any time. They've got Silverdale on their heels, and Grace is going to try to punch this one in again and extend this lead.
And while we're talking about this one, we do have a final from one of our other games tonight. Gatlinburg-Pittman finishing things up over Fulton, 50-18 as the final. So that's the most points that the Highlanders have had this season, and they moved to 4-0. Fulton moves to 0-4.
Yeah. Tough night for Fulton, but, we were picking out a positive. Offensively, that's a good night for them compared to what
Yes.
they've been doing this season. So you got to take the positive and continue to build there with the Falcons. All right, Grace Christian right now, they'll run it just to the left there, and not quite good enough for a first down, but
But they're
good,
moving.
good pickup. Yeah,
Good pickup.
And right now they're just running that clock and looking to score, but I don't think they're in a huge hurry right now as long as they're continuing to pick up yards like this.
Yeah, this one of the only games that they lost last year.
We got a timeout. On the field, 38-24, Grace Christian on top as we are looking in live right now. We're taking you around the area. We've been watching some great games. Another one that we've been watching is that South Doyle game, Carter. This one all knotted up late in the fourth.
And we got Carter driving.
So again, it goes back to our player of the week. And, if you're going to put the ball into someone's hands in a tight game, Sparks is the guy you want to go to. You know that better than anybody. You talked to him.
Player of the
You've been
week
watching
this year,
him.
and then player of the week also 2 years ago when he was a freshman, took over for quarterback who had gone out injury, and he stepped in, took over, and it's pretty much been Sparks' full drive ever since. This year playing a little bit more free, not getting too tense. You can see kind of he takes his time in the pocket and spin move.
Yeah, nice
That
job by
was pretty.
Scruggs. Yeah, still has it, still going too. Eludes a handful of tackles there, and Carter threatening once again. So a great pickup by Jody Scruggs.
Scruggs, the guy that Sparks gives all the credit to and more for the week he had. When I talked to him earlier this week, he's like, this should be the guy. And I'm like, well, we can't give it to two people, but if we could, I'd let you throw him in here. So definitely gives a lot of credit to his wide receiver. We see Scruggs play mostly wide receiver, but sometimes he's in there at running back, a little undersized for a running back. He's looking to play at the next level, but looked at it a little bit undersized. But we've seen that even Deshaun Bishop going into Tennessee, a little bit undersized as a running back. So I'm sure he'll find his way. But looking for someone to take a chance on him, and I don't think you'd be disappointed.
And both those guys juniors. They're going to be back next year, so good news for Carter.
Yeah.
All right, they're going to keep the ball on the ground this time, and we got a flag on the play after picking up a few yards, so we'll see what the call is here.
We just saw the clock there, 2:17 remaining. We are in the fourth. This one tied up 30-30. Carter had a tight game 2 weeks ago, 24-21. That was their sole loss on the season. That came against Grace Christian, the game that we just brought you from. So that kept Grace undefeated and gave Carter their first loss.
I was just looking at something here with South Doyle. They're 2-1 on the season. They won their first game, right? Mm-hmm. The last time they won a season opener before this year was 2020. And that was back at Lenore City.
They have had some down years for sure, but under Larry Hedrick, I think they're really starting to buy in. Maybe you didn't see that last year as much. But just as the biggest improvements come in game 1 to game 2, biggest improvements with coaches can come season 1 to season 2. So we got Brody Sparks
going
firing
deep.
Dials.
And it's
interception.
Wow. Huge turnover.
That is huge for South Doyle, and that's going to be number 12 for South Doyle. Rondell North.
Yeah, Rondell North, a sophomore, yeah.
So like we said, a lot of young guys who got experience last year, and that's why you're getting plays like that.
Fantastic. Hey, we've got a lot more action to come. Keep it tuned right here. Friday Frenzy Live continues in just a moment. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. Taking you out, Karns taking on Clinton Beavers. Take a look here, picking up the big gain here. Cuts it back inside and finally out of bounds. Karns, though, driving downfield, and then they score. They punch it in there. Weston Ritter, the senior, putting it in. And Karns right now, the Beavers, looking to pick up their second win of the season. But Clinton has been in control of this one for the most part. But seeing some big plays here from Karns. There was the ball was a little bit overthrown. There was a turnover on downs. And again, take a look here. Clinton, they went deep on fourth and then turned it over on downs, I'm being told, and tipped away there by the Karns defensive back. So
that's Jalen Benjamin, quarterback for Clinton on that one.
So Clinton's still up in the fourth, 21-18, but this is a tight one. This one's going to come down to the wire. It was 21-10 last time we checked, now 21-18. Let's go back to South Doyle.
One out there tonight.
South Doyle taking on Carter. This one was all knotted up at 30 apiece. South Doyle with the ball. We saw the interception in the end zone.
And now Cherokee's moving down the field.
Can't tell if it was complete braying on the pass. Doesn't look like it, though. We'll try to get an update here on time in this game. 3rd and 15, as you just heard from the PA announcer. There we go. Oh, just under a minute. 50 seconds. All right. So just under a minute to play in this one, all tied up at 30. Carter's got a lot of field they got to cover. I mean, South Doyle. But
Carter
they are
would
home.
like a lot of field to cover too. If
Well,
they could get the ball back.
that's true. That's true.
They got a little bit more
Carter would
field.
love a turnover right now if they could.
Yeah, that interception was crazy in the end zone. I mean, that's the kind of momentum shift that South Doyle definitely looking for. It looks like Brangen's going to go back to the
And
air,
he is
but he's sacked.
Wow, big penetration that time by the Carter defense. And a good job there. As again, they come up with a key sack right now. Is that Johnny Rosenbaum, one of the two that was in on that sack.
And that was third down, so this would bring up fourth.
So a big defensive play for Carter. As we mentioned, this one's all tied up at 30, less than 50 seconds. And it looks like we might have a penalty on the play, which is not going to work to the benefit of South Doyle. So they're going to march this one off, and that could not have come as the worst time for Carter.
They were 3rd and 15. Now they have the penalty, so we'll have to see where that puts them. If it got them the first down or if they're
going to call a
going to
timeout.
go for it on fourth because of where that penalty put them.
Well, somebody called the timeout. So we're going to spin this around, give you the update. There you go, 44 seconds. Let's see, 3rd down, 5 to go, 4th quarter.
And tied up at 30 apiece.
Ball on the 40.
So we've seen Carter score a decent amount so far this season. First game of the season, they put up 57. Second week, they're only lost 21. But then last week, their most that they've scored since 2022 against Union County, they had 63. So kind of a little bit on the low end, I guess you could say, for them offensively. They've really relied on their offense this year. Like we said, facilitated by Brody Sparks and Jody Scruggs really in there doing a lot of work as well.
Let's go back to Silverdale and Grace Christian. Grace Christian starting to run away with this one. It was 24-24, as you mentioned, Casey, when we checked in. Yeah. And now it's 45-24.
Yeah, what clicked for Grace? It must have been us tapping in on the game.
I think they were waiting for us. And
they were waiting for a little bit of love from us, yeah.
All right, so Silverdale with the football. They're going from right to left. They're in the white. They're going to go deep on this one. Got a receiver downfield, but I don't believe this one hit the mark. So let's go back to South Doyle and Carter, as we showed you. Under 50 seconds to go.
Yeah, turning into the game of the night over here for
really
sure.
Is. So again, South Doyle with the football. Well, let's find out, see where they're going to place this. Timeout for Carter. So Carter's going to call a timeout. Our producer telling he thinks that's their last. I think it is 2. I think South Doyle had 2 and Carter had 1 timeout remaining. So it looks like they're going to call timeout here, talk about it, try to stop the clock. As that time South Doyle put the ball on the ground, or they kept it on the ground with the rushing game. They didn't fumble it, but South Doyle maintains possession here. So let's see what they come up with. This one really coming down to the wire, all tied up at 30.
And then just as a reminder for the overtime rules, I have to look them up myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been to a game that has gone into overtime in high school since getting here. What I'm seeing is that each team receives a possession starting at the opponent's 10-yard line. So similar to college, but instead of being placed at the 25, placed at the 10, they'll alternate possessions until one team has scored more points than the other after an equal number of possessions, with the game ending in a tie only if the score remains tied after the first overtime period in the regular season. And then that would be different in the playoffs, but obviously we need to refer to the regular season for this one. There would be a coin toss to determine who would go first, who would have the initial choice of options. And then it does say if the score is still tied after the first overtime period, then the game ends in a tie. Playoffs, that would be different, but that is what.
Well, South Doyle is going to rely on their
here.
defense here late. Looks like Isaiah Mitchell has come in to punt this one away. So again, they're going to kick it away. Carter will get the football. We'll have to get a check on time. High snap, though. That is not what South Doyle needed. This ball is going to roll.
That is not what they needed.
And does he get the kick away? He got it away somehow.
Wow.
And they're going to down it. But my goodness gracious, Isaiah Mitchell, that could have been a game-saving play, possibly, for South Doyle.
Yeah, and that was Lincoln Jackson who downed it.
But Isaiah Mitchell hustling back. Snap was way over his head, picked it up. It
to
looked
get
like
that
around
off
the 5.
Under pressure.
So
if they end up winning it, I agree, Bo. That could have been a play of the
huge play, because otherwise Carter would have the ball like on the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, even they could have picked it up and ran it back.
So 28, just over 28 seconds here to go. Carter is going to get the football, And you got to think, the ball's at midfield, so a great punt. That time by South Doyle, by Isaiah Mitchell, the senior kicker. We saw him pick up a 2-point conversion earlier, and a great punt, a great effort there, making Carter have to work for this one. So 28 seconds to go. Let's see what Carter can do, what Brody Sparks and company can do. Again, our player of the week. So you're going to have somebody running the show in a situation like this. Number 7, so you want back there. And that's picked off. That's the second interception we've seen. 2 straight passes.
Guy,
that's
number
right.
12.
And he's still going.
Rondell North.
Oh, my goodness. Rondell
First
North.
play of the drive. And looks like he may be injured, though, getting up slow. His team's like, get up.
It looked like he got hit in the head there when he was making a move.
That's
coach
Larry
out there to
Hedrick,
check
head
on him,
coach,
yeah.
right over him, checking in on his player. Helmet comes off.
So a big interception. My goodness. That's 2 straight passes then that have been picked off.
Yeah. South Doyle doing everything they can to get this one in their hands.
I said we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we want to watch this game. It is probably around about 30 seconds left to go. Stay with us. Friday Frenzy Live continues. Oh, no, less than that. 17 seconds. We'll be back in just a second. Welcome back to Friday Frenzy Live. South Doyle and Carter. South Doyle is going to try to win this one on a field goal. There's about 5 seconds. There you go, 5.3 left on the clock. Ball on the 26.
So
34.
43-yarder is what that would be shaping up to be. 26 plus 17. So 43-yarder for the kicker.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, if it's Isaiah Mitchell, if that's who's kicking here, if he makes this, player of the game.
Player
because
of the game,
that punt that he got off, and the key 2-point conversion.
He ran it down, and now he has the chance to put this one away, which would be big.
Yeah.
Got 5 seconds on the clock.
Let's see what happens here. Yeah, 5 seconds left.
5 seconds left, so they're going to try
this
for
is
it.
So
43 yards.
It's up. Oh, my goodness. Does he have it? No.
No, it's short.
Oh, boy. It looks like we're headed to OT. Wow. But just the fact that they had an opportunity. They came with some big defensive stops. And then again, if you were with us, Mitchell had he was back to punt. The snap was over his head. He picked it up around the 5-yard line, had a handful of Carter players bearing down on it, and somehow got the punt off and pinned Carter back about midfield. And then on that next play, they threw an interception. And that gave South Doyle at least an opportunity to win this thing in regulation.
Yeah, so we saw time ran out, tied at 30-30. If you weren't with us when we were going over the overtime rules, what we're seeing is that both teams are going to get a chance from the 10-yard line to try and punch it in. We'll go back and forth until both have gotten equal chances and until we got a score on someone's side that's more than the other.
Yeah. Hey, let's get it. While we're waiting for them to get ready, let's take a look real quick at some of the scores from around the area tonight. We had a lot of finals for you that are coming in now, so let's find out what's going on around the area. First of all, Unicoi County, the Blue Devils, big win. They had that tight loss to Gatlinburg-Pittman last week, 21-20. They come back, they beat Chucky Doak 49-28. Maryville rolling 44-7 over Cleveland tonight.
Yeah, no surprise there for Maryville. They're just rolling through the season. Bearden handed their 3rd straight loss, 35-0. Powell coming away in our game of the week, 47-16. By far the lowest that the Govs, by far the closest that the Govs have been limited to this season offensively.
All right, other updates for you. In the 4th, a game that is really tight. Clinton looking for their first win of the season. That is now final, I'm told. So Clinton picks up their first win, 21-18. Karns drops to 1-3, I believe it is. But let's see. 1-3.
Yes.
So 21-18.
Clinton with their first of the season.
Yeah, so congratulations. And Coalfield, 65-0.
They're always sneaky. They always sneak their way into that second to last week of the postseason, and they do it with a very strong regular season record.
All right, let's go back out to South Doyle right now. They're hosting Carter. This game going into overtime. We got the coin toss. So right now the ref's explaining what Casey walked us through. You're going to get the ball. Everybody's going to get the ball in the 10. And then we're going to go from there.
And this is going to decide who gets to choose what they want to do first.
You want to be on defense first, or do you want the ball?
Looks like we got Jeremiah Smith out there for South Doyle. So we talked about him a little bit. Wide receiver, junior.
Got 2 number 8s out there.
Yeah, number 8 and number 8. South Doyle not really able to do as much in the air from what we saw today, but Jeremiah Smith's been a key to their offense. So it looks like South Doyle won it.
I think Carter, let's see, is Carter going to get the ball first? Yeah, Carter's going to get the ball first.
Yeah, so South Doyle wanted it second.
What's got to be going through Carter's head right now? Last 2 possessions resulted in INTs. One was in the end zone.
Yeah, those are the last 2 plays that they've had. So maybe you go for the ground.
So maybe keep it on the ground. Let's see what happens. All right. So again, those are the scores that we saw. We just mentioned that's now a final. Actually, that showed Karns coming back and beating Clinton. So 24-21. So that is correct, I'm told. All right. So Clinton still winless this season. Karns now picking up their second win of the campaign.
They're 2-2. So Clinton's still trying to look for that first win under their new head coach.
Sevier County looks great, 48-0 over Daniel Boone. Smoky Bears just continuing from where they were last season.
Yeah, they haven't lost a game since September of 2023, regular season-wise, that is. Regular season, haven't lost a game since mid-September 2023. Morristown West, under David Crockett. So tight one there, 29-27, and then Farragut dropping to Bradley Central. That's going to be the fourth
win,
loss.
Right? Still 0-4
yeah, and that's
now
exactly how they started out last season too. 0-5 to start that first season under Jeff Courtney. Then we got Falcons.
Yeah, GP.
Fulton.
Yeah, GP. Fulton had an opportunity, but they just didn't. They couldn't get it done. Gatlinburg-Pittman then took advantage of it, opened it up 50-18. And then we've been watching. It was 24-24 when we first tuned into that Grace Christian game, and then they just exploded offensively and went on.
And we're crediting ourselves because we tapped into that game, and then they started.
That's right. Yeah,
just
we'll take the credit. All right, Carter at South Doyle. It is overtime. High school football, and Carter with the ball. And let's see where they're going to place this one here. They're keeping it on the ground, like you mentioned, Casey. The last 2 times they went airborne, and they resulted in INTs. So they're going to run the ball right now here in overtime.
Yeah, and keep in mind, we see them close to the end zone, but they did start on the 10.
Yeah.
So both teams are going to get a chance on the 10. So if we see Carter punch it in here, then South Doyle is still going to have the opportunity to do so as well.
So Joseph Almenta, it looks like he was the ball carrier the last time there when we just tuned in. So let's see what they do now. Just a few yards out. Overtime.
Brody Sparks, handoff. And he's going to jump for it.
Not going to get there, though. So a good effort. Was that Gabe Hawkins?
Number 8.
No, number 8. My bad. Jody Scruggs. So that's kind of Sparks' go-to guy, as you were saying.
Go-to guy, yeah. We've seen him work on the air, or on the ground and in the air, rather.
Well, literally, that time he went in the air by himself. Impressive.
Yeah, he tried to go over.
But still came about a yard short.
So it looks like they still have another chance here.
Brody Sparks is a tall kid.
He is a tall kid.
He looks like a quarterback, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does look like a quarterback. And only junior, so he does still have 1 more year. It looks like still that same go-to guy. But no, the South Doyle defense is going to say absolutely no.
Big play there for South Doyle as they were shutting the door. And there you can see how this is playing out, 30-30. Way out in Heritage, maybe we're losing a little bit of the signal there. Well, hopefully, there we go. Hopefully, we'll bring it back here in a second as we're in overtime. Carter, though, trying to get in. South Doyle, though, digging in.
Yeah, South Doyle digging in, which we didn't necessarily see right off the bat in this game, but they kind of come from behind, and now they're really taking control. I mean, how do you not build momentum when you're coming away with 2 interceptions on back-to-back plays?
Yeah, I think Carter's calling a timeout, and that's got to get into Carter's head here, too. I mean, you're like, man, we have not been able to get the ball. We've had decent success all night, and now all of a sudden we cannot get the ball in the end zone.
Yeah.
South Doyle's defense coming up with some huge plays.
Brody Sparks certainly not used to throwing back-to-back interceptions. No. I mean, the kid has nearly 1,000 passing yards through 3 games, so definitely not his
just an impressive
forte
talent.
from game to game. So definitely could rattle him a little bit, but like I said earlier, he's really done a good job about figuring out how not to put too much pressure, not get too tense. That's really helped him out in general on the field, just mentally, and then it's also shown up in his stats in the numbers. So got to channel that a lot right now as well.
Yeah. Carter's going to come back out. I got to wonder when you watch him come back out here, you know, and we've talked about it, it's kind of a Sparks and Scruggs. I wonder if they look to go to somebody else. If you're thinking South Doyle's going to be keying in on 7 and 8, do we go somewhere else with this one?
Yeah, do you go somewhere else? Do you try something else out? But I do think if we're picking someone who has the momentum right now, I would give it to South Doyle coming off of those interceptions.
Oh, a little pitch outside, and does he get in? Yes, he does. And look at that, it was Scruggs.
It was Scruggs. Go-to guy, going to have it on the third time.
Faked it somewhere else, went out, quick pitch. Scruggs, nice job getting the ball in the end zone.
Now remember, overtime rules, South Doyle still has a chance. So, yes, we just saw Carter score. However, South Doyle does still get their chance. It looked like they won the toss, and then they deferred to the second to be able to try their hand at offense second. So Carter makes it in here. We're going to go for the extra point, and then if South Doyle does not score, then this one will go to Carter. However, if they do score, we'll be right back here seeing if Carter can do it again, and we will go back and forth until one of them is on top of the other after equal possessions between the two.
So this is a key kick here. Make it a 37-30 game.
And we have a whistle.
Yep.
And it would have been good. See, those refs, they want to put their hands up. They're like, it went
No, we can't do it. Did you hear a whistle?
They're like, let's move this game along. Closing in on 3 hours over in South Knoxville.
So they'll get another opportunity here to make it a 37-30 game.
And we were going to stop at 10 o'clock tonight. However, we're going to stick with
this. We're going to bring
this
this one to you.
Stop
we can't walk away from this one.
We can't stop this one. So we're going to keep this one going. So once again, Carter lining up to take that extra point. And that would put them up 7. However, South Doyle still, by the rules, will get their chance to score.
So this is Gavin Thomas in the kick for Carter. Make it a 7-point lead. And it's good.
See, it looked like someone got a hand on it, which would have been huge. You know, if you limit the extra point, you go down, score a touchdown, and get it. That's an immediate win rather than having to go back and forth again. So next up, South Doyle is going to get their hand. We've seen them work a lot with our guy, Mill Crenshaw.
Yeah, the sophomore running back.
So we'll have to see if they go with him again. And then Jeremiah Smith, another guy in the air. But like we said before, haven't really seen the air working that much for South Doyle so far tonight, though it has this season.
But I'll tell you right now, the guy with the hot hand as far as receiving is Rondell North. I mean, he's had 2 picks. He's also a wide receiver. Let's just see if he can do it offensively
more action
as well.
Defensively
right.
Than he is,
so you know, maybe we just throw it to him. We'll see what they do. Benson Brang, the junior quarterback, now will get his opportunity. But Carter punching it in with Scruggs there to take a 7-point lead here in overtime. But let's see what South Doyle can do. Both these teams coming in 2-1. And here we go as we're back to action for you right now. And South Doyle with the ball. They have to score.
Yeah, they have to score. This one's going to be Carter's game. South Doyle heading into this week with a mentality that it's always 1-0. Every week is a new season. Reestablish that mentality after their first loss last week, and Coach Larry Hedrick was happy with how they responded, specifically with how the upperclassmen kind of pulled along the rest of the team as they fought back from that loss last week against Heritage. Again, that loss was 35-14. Got a lot more experience this year from working young guys last year, and they already have more wins on the season than they did last year. They're 2-1. Last year they finished out that 10-game regular season 1-9.
But they don't want to stop there.
They don't want to stop there.
You know, they've got some momentum going. They've been in all their games have been hard-fought games. At Karns last week, the loss at Heritage was a tough ball game. Brang here on the handoff. Fakes it. And let's see where it was a quick throw out to the near side, and touchdown. So it looks like we got a flag thrown though. So this one may be coming back. Yeah, it looks like it. You can see the reaction there of Smith.
Who we just talked about.
He was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah. He's still. Oh, that's a cute little teammate moment between the Hornets and the Cherokees.
I tell you,
like that.
Both these teams have been playing hard.
That was number 12. That's Isaac Cookston from Carter. That Jeremiah Smith just kind of. I don't know if you call it a little high five, but maybe a good play.
It was a good play. He was like, "Yeah, man, you deserve that one." But
maybe
someone else ruined
it
for you. Yeah. So So a penalty on the play, so the touchdown nullified. South Doyle, though, still with the football.
Looks like they got moved back a little bit
Yeah.
on that penalty, too, so even further out.
Brang
And
coming right at you. Oh! Nope.
And that's going to be
Great
North,
defense.
the one that had gotten both of those interceptions that we referred to. And we saw him get a little banged up
Yeah.
after that second interception. Now he's down again. Got a Carter Hornet over top of him who was on the coverage, making sure he's
Checking on him
okay.
there. And
Once
again, that was your
that's-
guy from
yeah,
Carter.
That's our guy from
He
Carter.
might get the good sportsman award.
Yeah, Cookston, making sure that North is okay.
I don't know if North was banged up on the play or if he was just like, I can't believe I didn't.
Yeah.
But that was a
Because
great
I
defensive
believe
play, though, too.
This puts us at 4th down. Then we got Kayla at the game. Maybe she can give us a little
If we get a
switch
shot
to the
of where
scoreboard.
what down we
I
are
was
here. Well, that
wildly incorrect. We
that
are
says
second
second.
down, 2nd and 13. Can you see that 34-30 on the board because Carter did score, but South Doyle getting their
30,
opportunity.
37. There we go. So Brang now, oh, he's got nowhere to go. Wrapped up. Boy, that pocket collapsed in 2 seconds
Wow.
on him.
Yeah. Lack of protection from the line there,
So
for
there you go.
sure. On that one.
37-30. This is going to bring up
3rd down.
3rd down.
I believe it says only 18. Yep, so
Yeah,
now we're even further back. Remember, they started on the 10. That's the rules in overtime. Start on the 10. Now, with the sack and the penalty, they've been moved back 8 yards between both of those. And Carter looks a little hyped up at this point.
Well, they should. I mean, right now their defense is playing well. They're really digging in. This is why they've had a lot of success this year as well. So both these teams looking to pick up that 3rd win of the season. Brang now out of the shotgun, looking. This time he's going to go
Fires.
far. No.
No one's there.
Yeah, right across the middle was a little low, and he knows it too. He
Yeah.
was like, I can't believe that one almost looked like maybe it slipped out of his hands. Looks like he was going for Reed Reynolds, going across the middle there.
Yeah. And it's going to be 4th down. So they're going to get one more chance at this, and that's Larry Hedricks giving a stern talking.
Well,
To his team
Stern
there.
talking, but also, hey, let's pump them up here. You know, don't get down. And you know, in this game, anything can happen. I mean, we've seen a lot of things happen in this game. So
Now the board is still saying 3rd down, but I would bet money that we just watched 3rd down, unless there's a penalty that we have not seen.
I think at this point everybody's so glued to the field.
they're just forgetting to switch
They're
it.
forgetting it. Yeah, the only thing that matters right at this point is the
Yeah.
scoreboard,
so
right?
we're pretty sure we're under the impression that this is going to be the last chance that the Cherokees have to get a touchdown. Remember, they have to get the touchdown, and not only do they have to get the touchdown, they got to at least go for the extra point. I guess
Right.
they could go for 2 to win
go for
it.
2 to end it. Yeah.
But they have to score a touchdown here. Otherwise, this one is going to end the night in the hands of Carter. They would move to 3-1 on the season.
All right, man, it is loud. You can hear the
Yeah, you can
crowd,
hear
both
it.
stands right now. Everybody is up right now. This is what it comes down to. Benson Brang back. Nowhere to go. He's got to roll out to his left. Now he's going to fire it toward the end zone. No.
And it looks like
Yeah.
South Doyle's Kamirion Rice got hands on it, but it wasn't enough. And that's going to do it for the night. Carter is going to come away with the win,
What a game.
37-30 in overtime.
What
and
a
that
game.
it looks like it just went
you
official.
go, yeah.
They were making sure, and then they went for it. They went
What a
for the
win.
celebration. So that's a big one for Carter.
Carter going to 3-1.
Wow, what a celebration there.
South Doyle dropping to 2-2, and there's the celebration for you. This one going to overtime. What a game.
What a game.
Yeah.
3 hours and 5 minutes long, too. Long one for high school football.
But you knew, looking at this one on paper, this game, this was going to be one of the better games of the night, and it definitely lived up to it. Had a playoff feel to it. That is
Did
for
have
sure.
a playoff feel to it, for sure.
And again, you're early in the season, but sometimes these are the games when you look back, and you're thinking, man, if we had just been able to pull that one out early in the season. But, for Carter, they're going to go home thinking, man, this was a huge win for us tonight. 37-30 in overtime on the road at South Doyle. And against a good South Doyle team.
Yes, against a good South Doyle team, better than we've seen them look in the last few years. But South Doyle came in with the mentality that it's 1-0 every night, every week of the season. They're going to be taking that as they leave this loss and reset for next week. Like we said, they've already surpassed their wins from last season. They did that after week 2, so it's really only up this season for them.
But Carter, 3-1 now in the season, so good news there for Carter fans. And they're going to try to keep that momentum going as we get ready to head into week 5. of the season. I know,
Crazy.
can you believe it? Let's get you updated on some other scores here before we let you go from around the area tonight. Science Hills, we mentioned earlier, 35 nada over Bearden. Bulldogs still looking to try to get some points. They've only scored about 13 this season. Powell in our game of the night, a big win at Blount. We thought this one might be a little bit tighter, but Powell coming up big on the road in Blount County, 47-16 was the final score there. Also, Unicoi County bouncing back after that disappointing loss to Gatlinburg-Pittman last week, 49-28. Maryville, no problem tonight against Cleveland, 44-7.
Yeah, no problem. And I've got another one for you written down here. Gibbs, the final over Morristown East. Gibbs wins 49-7, and then a few more on the board. Just as a reminder, Karns ended up winning that tight one. Clinton and the Beavers. Clinton still winless on the season. And then Coalfield, a little sneaky 65 points over Oakdale for the final for them.
Yeah, Tennessee High taking on Cocke County tonight, 35-0 the final there. And Sevier County, just as we mentioned earlier, they just continue to roll, 48-0 over Daniel Boone.
Yeah, they simply can't be beat. I wouldn't be surprised if they rode those shutouts all the way to another state title, try to go back to back. Then we've got Morristown West falling tight one to David Crockett. Bradley Central handing Farragut their 4th loss of the year, very similar to how the ads began last season in 2024 as well.
GP, one of the games we were bringing to you live tonight, they beat Fulton 50-18. Fulton still looking for that first win of the season. And then Grace Christian, this was a tight one for a while. It was tied at 24, and then Grace Christian just exploded. 45-24, the final there as the Rams pick up a huge win. Granger County, they lose. Boy, high scoring affair though, 54-30 to Cherokee tonight. Not a lot of defense in that one. And then Greenback, 28-16 winners over Harriman. Blue Devils on the losing end of that one. So we got some other scores for you here as we continue to roll
still got more rolling in
Anderson
here.
County, this was another one of the live games we were watching tonight at Heritage, and it was tight for a while, but then Anderson County, you could just feel they got the momentum going, and they pick up 63 points.
I mean, 63, as we mentioned, their quarterback is out for the next few weeks, expected to return in week 8 of the regular season to put up 63 points with a brand new offense.
Yeah.
Good for them. Loudon, close one.
Close one, yeah.
2019, we saw them a few weeks back in our game of the week, just crushed Lenore City.
Right, and that was after they came off of a big loss.
Yeah, so they've been definitely working their way back up. Jellicoe topping Sunbright 2014, and then another close one, a lot of close ones tonight. Lakeway Christian edging out Webb for the 35-34 win there.
All right, McMinn County 52-13 against Lenore City. Lenore City, after that week 1 win, has really struggled here. 52-13 the final though. And York Institute losing at Livingston Academy tonight, 40-21. Other scores for you: Gibbs, as you just mentioned, Casey, a winner tonight at Morristown East. And then Oak Ridge, 33. It was 2-0 at one point, a little more like a baseball score. 33-7 though. Huge win for Oak Ridge.
Just rolling past everyone this year too.
And then Northview Academy, a winner, and then CAK also blanking Oneida. Hey, don't forget, 11 o'clock tonight, Casey, Sam, the
All
whole
the
crew.
highlights.
You got it. Thanks for watching.